Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joel Dehls. And this is episode 236. In this episode, we are going to give our top 5 two-way players, talk about the Pelicans being a dark horse contender, the Kings offense, Chris Paul's regression, the Nets winning streak, Trae Young drama, and more. Shout out to Joe Dehls. Birthday was yesterday.
Sure.
Went out to a nice birthday dinner, but we still had to do the pod the very next day. The work don't stop.
Yeah, it might be a little slow today, but we're here.
I need to see a lot of HBDs in the comments, man. Shout out to Deli.
Good day. Shout out to y'all for pulling
So
up.
how you guys feeling?
Great night. A little painful this morning, for sure. A little painful.
How are you painful?
A lot of drinking last night.
A lot
of sangria.
What else?
We went to Midland after.
What else?
Vodka Sprites.
What else?
There's a lot of drinking, bro.
Oh, what else?
Sangria is dangerous.
Sangria, yeah. I told you. Was it after the third cup?
It was probably like, 3. No, actually, it was probably like end of 2. I was like, oh. Yeah. And then the middle of 3, I'm like, all right.
This shit tastes like juice.
Yeah.
It's going down easy.
What made it painful was pouring the extra wine into the sangria. That was
you're
a
bugging.
stupid,
The bottle you and Joey got?
decision. Bro, I don't know why I did that.
I don't know why you guys got a bottle of wine either.
Bro, that was all on Joey. That was
you
all.
were with it.
I wasn't going to let my boy have a bottle Dolo.
Of course.
That's real of you.
Thank you.
I will say this, though. So this is a basketball podcast. Let's not get this mistaken for anything but that. But Thursday night, something special happened. And I think we got to talk about it at least for 5 minutes.
I think that's fair.
Baker Mayfield, comeback win. 2 days of preparation. He gambled on the flight. He gambled by taking the flight because he didn't even get picked up yet. And he wins the game versus the Raiders, who are in the playoff hunt. Y'all were talking down. Y'all was talking spicy on him.
I was. However, he came in. I saw him in that 17, that bright blue. I said, man, something special. I feel like something special is percolating here. And the fact that he had that game-winning touchdown was pretty spectacular.
Appreciate all the happy birthdays in the chat.
That's a fact.
By the
They're
way.
going crazy.
Appreciate everyone here. We got how many people? 150.
He said,
It's just because, listen, the Baker story is spectacular. You can't take anything away. 2 days of preparation to be able to go out there, primetime game. He didn't even start, right? Wolford had the first series, and Baker comes in, and it was, I wouldn't say it was exactly a clean game, but when it mattered most, that last drive, and even the drive before to score a touchdown, you can't take that away from him, bro. He was spectacular. I don't know if I'm going as far to say this is their franchise guy or this is someone I would want over even Stafford next season. I know we've been joking about Baker being on the Jets next year, but I still don't think that Baker Mayfield being your quarterback is going to be an ideal position. I think if Baker's your quarterback, you're like maybe you'll have the 20th best quarterback in the league.
If Baker Mayfield goes to the Jets, I'm rooting for them, man. Rooting for Baker, Broadway Baker.
Broadway Baker. We're not pushing
Let's
that.
get it.
We're not pushing
That's
that.
tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Now, I will be honest, though. I do think that Stafford doesn't play next year.
You think he retires?
He has a spinal injury right now, and it might require neck surgery. So if he has that, he's out for the year next year. So
Baker
Next
could be an
year,
option
really?
for sure
Damn.
then, because he's better than
Yeah.
Wolford or Bryce Perkins.
damn, bro.
So I do think that Baker, he could be the guy for the Rams as a bridge guy. Sean McVay play action heavy system. That pass to Skoronovich.
Does this stop?
my God.
Does this stop their rebuild though, or do you still?
Are they rebuilding though?
I think they
They're
should
just
go into this
injured.
offseason and try to rebuild.
The Raiders are the most disappointing team I've ever seen in my life.
Shout out to Baker because yes, the Raiders were on the heels of the Jets. So shout out to Baker getting that dub. That was pretty huge.
I definitely don't think that they're looking at Baker and thinking, yeah, this is the guy that we're going to start our rebuild with. Do you?
No, I don't either.
I think
Do
they're
you
going to
think
make
that?
some moves to win now still.
The Rams with
Yeah.
Baker?
Just a week
Just
ago, we
Stafford,
said
Baker,
they
any
had the
quarterback.
bleakest future in the NFL.
They
and
did
how
because they
should-
have no picks. But Cooper Kupp's under contract. Donald's under contract. If those guys come back, they can maybe make some moves on the offensive line. They should be good.
But you're saying Stafford's going to miss a whole year next year. You still have a terrible offensive line. You just mentioned all the players that are
That's what needs to get fixed.
under contract, for sure.
Their run game is very hit or miss, and that's putting it.
Regardless of this
nicely.
one, QB still in question, man.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
QB
I mean,
is
Stafford's
still in
there
question.
healthy. That's
Well, he
not
said
the
Stafford
question.
probably gonna miss the year.
That's what I'm saying. That's where things get crazy.
But the game did save Baker's career
I think
because
also it's
that
saved
saved
his career?
I think it saved his career.
Oh
No,
my-
dude, I'm going to be
I
honest.
don't
think it
That's a
puts his
career.
I think that's a
It's
fair
helping.
statement to make.
It could definitely have helped his
It's
career,
helping.
but he wouldn't have been out of the league.
I don't know. I think it was very close. Only the Rams picked him up.
I understand.
What if he stunk it up Thursday night?
They had it would have been bad, but he probably still would have been on the Rams.
Yeah,
probably
but if he stunk it up, we're like, but no, he didn't.
He's not a starting level quarterback if he doesn't do it. He's not a starter.
So this one game makes you go from not a starter to starter.
Low key.
Yeah,
it does.
Low key.
Okay.
Well, one game made Mike White go from backup to Jets franchise quarterback.
I never said franchise quarterback.
He made a lot of some of the best throws I've seen from Baker in a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Bizarre. It's just when he's playing with
Santos, man.
Shout out to Santos, $50 donation. I know it's not a lot, but here's a birthday gift for Dehls. Happy birthday. Also, Tatum should win MVP this year.
Santos, bro. That's the best message this channel has ever received in its history. Just fact after fact after fact. 3 cents is all facts.
But Baker, yeah, man. Listen, that's the best I've seen him for the most part since his rookie season.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't disagree.
Well, his rookie year, he was amazing, bro. Baker was amazing. Like if he gets that confidence back in him, and Sean McVay coaching him,
it was something about it was something about prime time. Baker, when it comes to being on prime time, he shows out.
But when he's the underdog, I remember when he came back versus the Jets. Remember that? When we played him on Thursday night, and he came in the game and instantly
the touchdown.
He just was scorching
crazy.
us.
Of course he came out against us. I remember seeing that and knowing they were going to win that game.
Oh, my goodness. I think the Baker story is amazing, but it does take a lot of the attention away from the Raiders blowing their playoff chance.
That's terrible. Derek Carr had 12 passing yards in the second half. He had 125 in the first half, 12 in the second half. McDaniels completely. And listen, Jacobs, they were doing their thing running. I mean, Jacobs has been arguably the best running back in football this season. But Derek Carr with Devontae Adams, you cannot only have 12 passing yards in the second half. You could see why they came back and won that game.
Ramsey, he gave up flashy plays.
He did. I mean, Tay had 3 catches but went for 70.
But he did his thing. He really limited Tay as much as you could.
Yeah, that second half offense for the Raiders was, at least their passing game was really tough to watch.
The cornerback position is tough, man. You give up 1-2 plays, you suck.
Yeah. Because
it was a one-handed, basically no-look catch. It was crazy.
Shit was
you can't even.
It was crazy.
You can't even. How do you even guard that? That's just Tay making a crazy play.
So this week on Tuesday, just to let all of you guys know, we are going to be watching the Bucks and Warriors game on playback, and I'm gonna drop the link in the chat below so you guys can sign into your TV provider. We're all gonna be live. We basically just watch the games with you guys, and if you guys log into your TV provider, you can watch it with us. We let you guys up on stage. You guys are in the chats. It's similar to this, what we're doing, except we're all just watching a game from our houses.
It's a fact.
It's pretty cool.
It is lit.
Let's start the show ranking top two-way players. We're going to each give a top 5 list. And I'm really curious to see how this is going to go. I really am.
Oh, I wrote down like wild people.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, so
because I wanted to know how were we talking about wings or just top two-way players?
Just
two-way
players.
Yeah.
So
two-way players.
I wrote down a couple guys.
Did you have it in order?
No, I just wrote down guys who I think have the consideration to be in the top 5. I think the Jays, I had them in this conversation.
Yep.
I had Giannis up here.
Sure.
I had KD in here. I had Jimmy Butler. Drew
Hey,
Holiday.
who?
We talk about this year, right? I had KD.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making
Where's
sure.
Anthony?
Yeah, I was waiting for AD too.
I didn't finish.
Oh, sorry.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. He was was
Bro,
like the third name.
I know. I wanted to hear him like second or third.
Well, it's not in order. I was just naming people. Like I had the Jays, like I said, Jays, DeJounte, Jimmy Butler, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis, Giannis, KD. I had OG
Are you
up
just
here.
gonna name all the good two-way
what's your
players in the league?
top
Yeah, do you
5?
have a top 5 list?
I don't. I won't lie to you because I didn't know because I thought we were doing.
All right, so
just
while we
topics.
give ours, you
topic
think of your
name
top
is top
5, and then you give it to us.
I just named. There was so many people. I just named guys who.
I feel you now.
There's so many. Like this year is tough, bro.
It is tough. All right, so for me, number 5, I do have Joel Embiid. Obviously,
we might have the same list. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, you think so? All
I
right.
thought that was because that was the one name. Did you even say Embiid?
You didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't have him in it.
So he's not a great two-way player. He's not one of the
we
best
talk about
two-way
this year.
players.
He is great this year.
I blanked off Embiid. I'm sorry.
Obviously, scoring, Embiid's amongst one of the best in the
No, I
league.
just
and
blanked.
defensively,
He's averaging
on-
5 assists this year.
I just
he's-
blanked.
last year
on
he was a
Embiid.
good playmaker too.
You just had so many names and haven't.
You
Yeah,
did.
I was
You did.
surprised.
I missed on Embiid.
Number 4, I have Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, obviously, arguably the best scorer in the league, but on top of it, he's become a shot blocking machine. Him and Claxton have been a force down there, and now the Nets, we're going to talk about them a little later, they now own the best defensive starting 5 lineup in the NBA, which is kind of nuts. And that's a credit to KD and what he's been doing down low. Number 3, I have Anthony Davis. Only reason I have him number 3 is because these other 2 basketball players, they're just better than him. Number 2, I have Jason Tatum, and number 1, I have Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, AD's better than Tatum's better than AD.
Tatum,
this season.
Tatum is probably better than Anthony Davis, but it's very close. It's very close.
Wait, so
What's your
who are your
5?
top 2?
All right, so I have Joel Embiid, number 5. Number 4, Kevin Durant. Number 3, Anthony Davis. Number 2, Jason Tatum. Number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You have Jason Tatum over Anthony Davis right now.
I do.
As a two-way.
I do. I mean,
Sure, okay.
listen, defensively, Jason Tatum is one of the best wing defenders in the league right now. On top of it, Jason Tatum's one of the best scorers. He's one of the best playmakers. Anthony Davis is the best defender in the league right now. That being said, the playmaking aspect and the ability of Tatum to score at the clip that he does also just is beneficial to him.
And before you give your list, Dehls, I just want to say for everybody that's donating in the super chats, we appreciate you. We're going to have John write down the super chats so we can get to them at a portion of the show so it doesn't interrupt the flow of our conversation. So, John, if you could do that, and Dehls, you give your list.
My top 5 are the same as Drew. A bit of a different order. When I did this, I didn't really have like this is my set order. But when you see who's number 1, you're probably going to feel like it was a set order. Number 5, I have Embiid. Number 4, Giannis. 3, AD. 2, KD. And 1, Jason Tatum. These, at least the top 4, I feel like you could put in any order. Embiid, you can make the argument for as well. But I feel like these 4 this season have been the best. We just talked about AD last episode, how dominant he's been on this stretch. I know he missed a game. We got word the other day. He missed he played the first like couple minutes and got ruled out. He had flu-like symptoms, so thankfully nothing bad. KD has been spectacular this year, and there's a bunch of advanced analytics. I'm sure you're going to talk about it, about his defensive improvement, or maybe going back to what he once was. And Jason Tatum, you guys know the clinic. Not just he of course is a great player. And I know we're talking about individuals here, but, he's on the best team, best offense. They're actually 9th in terms of defensive rating now, too. Like, their defense is coming up. You have top 10 in the league. Robert Williams now is a few days back. I know we're just talking about Jason Tatum, but I have to talk about my season a little bit there. So that's top 5. It's like I would love to put Jaylen Brown in here. He's just not with these top 5 guys, right? Like, you have a bunch of guys, you name them, Riv, like
Very
OG, for
close,
example.
though.
Like, he'd be tough to get in here, but he's not on this like level.
You finally have a 5?
No, I was actually asking a question. I want to be the questionnaire right now.
Okay.
Surprised you guys didn't have AD at 1. I really am surprised.
It's just best two-way players.
So you guys think Tatum is a better two-way than Giannis? That's
I didn't say that.
you don't have
I have
I'd say
Giannis
one.
at
at
1.
I'd
you
say
have
him 1.
Tatum 1. So you
Yeah.
think right now he's a better two-way than Giannis?
Was
Was that a little biased?
I said this wasn't really in order, but you could make your.
made a
If you
list.
make the
You made a
argument,
list.
if you made the argument, I wouldn't push back.
So you do
That's
think
fine.
you do think Tatum is?
I mean, I think they have to be in the same conversation.
okay. That's all I wanted to
Yeah.
know because you made it.
Do you
No,
think?
they
Do you think
don't.
there's a gap? They're just this season.
I
Tatum's playing at MVP level. I mean, Giannis is playing unbelievable too. But we're talking just this season. You think there's a huge gap between these two guys?
No, I think Giannis is better. I don't think it's a gap though.
Okay, that's fair. They're in the same tier. You would
I
say.
mean, when you talk about top 5, the gap is pretty small. So
That's what I'm saying. You can make if you want to say Giannis. I'm not gonna. It's Giannis.
I actually wasn't
I'm not gonna
surprised you had
fight.
Tatum at
Yeah.
1. So I'm just like,
I'm not gonna fight you on it.
I have an honorable mention that I really want to mention because I was having trouble of whether or not I wanted to put him at 5 because he deserves it so much. He
Jalen
does.
Brunson?
It's Pascal Siakam.
Respect.
I think Pascal Siakam is right there on the cusp of 5. He's having a career season. You can argue the best individual statistical regular season a Raptor has had in history, and he deserves a lot of credit. He's an elite defensive player. He should be on this list, but there's a lot of talent in the NBA.
There are.
Number 5 is Joel Embiid, 30, 10, and 5 this year, and opponents are shooting 6% less than expected at the basket when Embiid has been a defender.
It's been great.
Their defense has been turning up as of recently. They started off super slow, but Embiid, he arguably had one of the best performances in NBA history this season, and now he's back to playing defense. James Harden's going crazy. He's back.
Almost choked a 9-point lead.
Yeah, it was
with
ridiculous.
less than
It was
30
ridiculous.
seconds
Yeah,
left.
I think Philly, they're playing some really great basketball right now. Number 4 is Jason Tatum. He's averaging
Oh,
30.
goodness.
8.
Come on.
And 4 assists
it
per
figures,
game.
it
What are we
figures, it figures.
doing?
Jason Tatum, on and off ball screens, I want to talk about him offensively. He's generating a lot of offense for the Celtics by using ball screens, and you don't typically see that from scorers as elite as him, but he's scoring in different ways and getting his teammates in different positions to score. And this is the best thing about Tatum. this year in isolation when he's guarding that, players are shooting they're getting 0.73 points per possession against Jason Tatum, which that's an elite mark. He's an elite perimeter defender. And if you want to argue his versatility compared to Kevin Durant, I think he's a more versatile defender because he can guard smaller players and keep up more than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's number 3. He's averaging 30, almost 7 rebounds, 5 assists per game. He's the best mid-range shooter in the NBA.
He is.
And when comparing their defensive stats, defensive field goal percentage, KD's at 42%, Tatum's at 47%.
Are you about to tell us the same tweet that you
Blocks.
put out?
That was I made that, yes.
So you about to reread this?
Blocks, KD's at 1.7, which ranks 8th in the NBA. Tatum's at 1, which ranks 25th. Defensive rating, KD's at 111, Tatum's at 110. Defensive box plus minus, the higher the better. KD's at 1.1, Tatum's at 0.2. Kevin Durant's having an elite two-way season. I think offensively, he has been better than Jason Tatum, in my opinion. And defensively, he's been just as good. I still view KD as a better player than Tatum. That's why he's the better two-way guy. And before I get into number 2, I just want to say, it's funny because in the offseason, we argue over semantics a lot. And when I mentioned KD being great, oh, the pushback from you was crazy. Oh, he's good. Great.
You're sad, bro.
And now, he finished 7th in DPOI voting already
it's so sad,
in the
bro.
past. And this
so
year,
sad.
he's having an elite two-way season.
No, but you know what's crazy about me being wrong? We were talking about a time period that had nothing to do with this one. So how can I be wrong on something when it has nothing to do right now?
Because this isn't his only elite defensive season.
But that was never we were talking about
This
Golden
is his
State.
first elite defensive season with the Nets, though.
Yes, and that's what we were talking
For
about.
sure.
But it had
the
nothing
Nets has been
Yeah.
riddled with inconsistency.
No, but you can't bring that up as if we were talking.
You
it
don't
had
get
nothing
a
to
W
do.
for
Yeah,
that.
you don't get a
that
W.
doesn't
for
I
that.
make
do.
W.
Because
Wow.
KD's a great defender.
But we were talking about in the time period he
You
was
guys
not.
We're talking about 2022, bro.
We
No,
were
look, now
saying
you're
all
trying to
around.
say-
No, we were
No,
saying
no.
the debate because you wanted to act like KD has never been a great defender. You wanted to act
No,
like
I
Golden State made him look like that.
No, I said he was great in Golden State, but people were helping him. But in Brooklyn, he was not. You was calling him an elite defender.
Every single
in Brooklyn, he was not an elite
No, I said
defender.
an elite rim protector. He's an elite rim protector. He is. He is. The numbers show it this year. They showed it in Golden State.
But they didn't show it in Brooklyn, and that's what we were talking about.
At that time, the argument was if KD is in a situation where he's able to play team elite defense, he's an elite defender.
Okay, bro. You win.
That's facts.
You win.
He does this all the time, bro. You win.
That's facts.
You win.
Number 2 is Anthony Davis. I think he's.
I love it.
It's just he's a DPOI candidate.
For sure.
He's arguably one of the best offensive players in the game right now.
Talk to him.
4th best defensive rating when he's on the floor for the Lakers. And when he's not there, they're
A mess. You could just say it.
horrible.
Yeah.
Bottom 20. And then number 1 is Giannis. He's defending the rim at a elite rate. Opponents are shooting 49% on him at the rim and 32, 11, and
crazy.
5. Giannis, there's an argument for him being the best player in basketball. You could say he's the best player in basketball
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
because you could say Steph is as well.
Okay.
And Steph Curry, I think, always deserves that respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
That's fine.
Big Steph guy.
You can put Luka in there too.
Like-
You can. You can't put Luka in there. Why you don't like Luka?
For best player in the league.
Yeah, you can put Luka.
It's not
in there.
that I don't dislike Luka.
You can't say he doesn't have a case.
Those 3,
So
I think
then
we all agree.
so
that
Tatum
were
has a case.
Top 3.
Yeah, Tatum has a case to be the best player in the
But
league.
the thing is, would you ever say that Tatum's the best player in the league?
Answer this honestly. Has Tatum individually been better than Steph or Giannis?
No.
No.
It hasn't been close. But Luka, you can make the argument, has been better than Steph or Giannis.
Oh,
I know you're going to hate it, but it's a fact.
that's a strong opinion, man.
He leads the league
A
in
week
scoring.
ago, Luka had the highest PER in NBA
He
history.
leads the league in
He really
scoring.
He's an amazing basketball player. I'm like, I understand. We're
He's
He's
talking.
probably one of the best I've ever seen. Luka's probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Come on, Drew.
When I see the defense step up, then I'll change my
But
opinion.
Luka's not a bad defender, and also I think his offensive load makes it so we can't see him at his best defensively.
And
Anyway.
I don't want to hear that. You just told me he's one of the best we've ever seen, which I don't disagree with. He is one of the better ball players we've ever seen. That being said, we've seen players with huge offensive loads still carry that same energy to defense. So I don't want to hear that.
That's very true.
LeBron, Michael Jordan. You're telling me we're talking about one of the best we've ever seen.
He's naming the top of the
Giannis.
top.
Yeah, I know.
Dogs.
What about Steph?
Steph plays good defense. Steph is actually a better defender than Luka.
He's not a great defender. He's a good one.
But you can never say, he's good. He's a good team defender.
He's not a cone, though. Luka's not a cone either.
Luka used to be a cone.
Yeah, I don't know about
Luka
that. Also
needs to get better at making free throws. From one
the
fan
LeBron
of
guy says that.
Exactly. Very self-aware.
Very self-aware.
Very self-aware.
Luka, his offensive impact, I think, overshadows anything defensive that you want to nitpick. I think Luka's that great offensively. He is a borderline flawless offensive player. Outside of the three-point shot consistency.
And the free throw?
Which is possibly due to him taking so many contested threes.
Facts.
And the free throw line, I mean,
Very
when we talk about a
important part
scorer,
to the game,
he's one of the best scorers ever. And when we talk about assisting and playmaking, he's one of the best playmakers that I've ever seen.
No, Luka's amazing.
He's like a combination of Steve Nash and James Harden, but probably ticked up to like 5.
He gets a pass somewhat defensively just because
there's
very few players in the league. I mean, that you could put on that Mavericks team and they go to the WCF last year. I mean,
I'm looking at the comments. KD is not a top 3 defender. It's not a great defender.
I'm just ignoring all these.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. If people think KD's not a great defender, they have not turned on one Nets game this season. He has saved games for the Nets defensively.
KD has been crazy
with his impact.
He has.
Let's cut the crap, man. Let's cut the crap. Let's cut the crap. But yeah, number 1 is Giannis. That's my top 5 though. Top 5, I have Embiid, Tatum, KD.
That's the only thing that I...
AD, Giannis.
But the thing is, you can make the argument. All 4 you can make the argument. So, of course, he's going to put Tatum last in that 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm fine with it.
No, Giannis and AD, I think, are quite clearly better two-way players than Tatum this season. Quite clearly.
Quite clearly?
I'm going to be honest. I think AD has a better argument for 1 than Tatum. And you had Tatum at 1.
I said all 4 of them guy. I could see the argument for, but that's why I know Joel is going to put him.
I look at it like what AD's doing
I don't hate
for
the Celtics.
Lakers.
I like the Celtics.
It's not true.
And you know what? The reason I put KD over Tatum, because I will say, Tatum, the versatility on defense is kind of what makes me think he's a better defender. I think KD's a better offensive player, and KD deserves some respect. And I want to show him. I want to give him his flowers. Because the Nets have been through a lot of shit this year.
For sure.
Yet they've overcome. They're the 4th seed in the East, and here come the Nets. I sold my ticket to the Steve Nash Nets. I was off the train, but the Jacque Vaughn one, I'm buying. I'm back on the train.
You had time. Did you put together
Nets.
a 5 or no?
No.
You son of a bitch.
Can you give us 5 or no? Like, we know some guys on your list are not going to be in the top 5.
Okay. So I will rack off. I would probably say 80 at 1. I think 80 should be at 1.
So 80 is better than Giannis.
Over Giannis.
I'm not. He's been playing better as a two-way, but I think Giannis is an overall better player. I have Giannis at 2. I would put KD at 3. I would probably put Tatum at 4. Do I have a 5? I don't have a 5.
Embiid? Or you didn't have Embiid on your 10?
I didn't. No, I couldn't think of Embiid. Siakam was a nice honorable mention.
Jaylen Brown's like 7.
I was gonna say JB is around that 6, 7, 8 tier for me.
I actually looked up some stats. Shout out to Jaylen Brown. Shout out to Paul George. He's been really good on defense this year too. The offense got to catch up.
Jimmy Butler. Do you think
You always got to put Jimmy in the conversation. Shout out to lower rated guys. OG Anunoby, Andrew Wiggins. Shout out to those guys. They've been really good this year. But yeah, my only thing was I was probably put, because what AD's able to do for the Lakers, you have to put him at least top 3. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, he's backpacking the defense, and offensively he's been a machine. Like Tatum, I only put lower because his responsibilities on defense aren't the same as AD and Giannis.
When do we talk about Zion on this top 10?
When he does
coming
it, I would
soon.
probably say
he needs to do it. If he does it, all of these guys on this list have done it for multiple seasons for years.
Well,
why'd you doubt him, man?
I can't take it no more.
He doubted KD,
Why'd
doubted
you
Zion.
You're doubting.
You just man, defensive talent is not something that you're really fond of.
I know.
What's wrong with you?
Chatting right now?
What is wrong with you?
It's sad, bro.
When are we gonna put KCP on here?
Sad, bro.
It's just so sad, bro.
KCP.
What about Mikal Bridges? Who has a better case?
420 heads watching right now.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Who has a better case of being a top 5 two-way player? Mikal Bridges or
top 5?
OG Anunoby?
I would say OG Anunoby.
This season, probably OG. He still leads the league in steals?
I don't know, but he's a dog on the defensive end. So
Mikal
Bridges doesn't fucking move me, bro. Yeah. He doesn't.
His offensive game.
He doesn't move me. And if you're talking about a two-way player, he will never be that because his offense would never be that of a two-way player.
Say, his
offensive
you
can't even put him in
ugly.
there. He's like just like a overextended 3-and-D player. For being honest,
isn't that what OG is?
OG can go get one a little bit. He tries to go get one. I've never seen Bridges even.
So I have a question, and this relates to a conversation when we talk about offense and defense, and it stems from a conversation.
Yes, OG, by the way.
Yeah, it stems from a conversation I had with Drew last night when we were at the bar that I remember today. So
I was sauced having this.
We were
conversation.
talking about Luka, right, and how great he is offensively. He's an elite offensive player, but his defense is average. So therefore, that hurts him, I guess, a couple notches. So where do we draw the line between an offensive player being an average defender and where we rank them versus a defender like OG, who's an elite defender? You can say the best at his position, but he's an average to above average offensive player. I think that in itself proves how much more offense matters because we would never argue OG despite him being one of the best defenders in the league in conversations with these great offensive players that don't play defense. Like, I would not argue Trae Young versus OG in my life. But OG, defensively, there's a significant gap.
It's because you need points to win the game, ultimately, and that's why everyone is glamored with offense, which is 100% sound. It makes sense. But at the same time, you still need to be a great defender to level, which is why we are having this conversation of the Luka versus Tatum, and why, for me, I take Tatum because of the defense. The offense, yes, you give to Luka clean. You said it, one of the most talented offensive players we've ever seen. But Tatum's complete game is why I lean Tatum more often than not.
I would say, if you look at the top, and we were talking about this before, top 10 players ever, there's not one bad defender.
That is
so
100% fact.
He wasn't a bad defender. He was average to good on some nights.
He was a liability.
He wasn't a liability. If he's a liability, Luka's a liability. And you just said Luka's not a liability. So
I didn't say liability.
You said he was average on defense.
Yeah, he is.
Magic
Johnson's average on defense.
Yeah, but he's not a liability. Average. You know, a liability is
means
Trae Young.
Magic Johnson was a liability when he was guarding perimeter guards.
Was he a liability when he was guarding perimeter guards or the best perimeter guards? Because that's not really a liability.
He struggled with twitchier guards.
The best of the best.
He's big, too.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's what Luka is 6'8". They're only like 2 inches apart.
Yeah, Luka is 6'8". Damn. But I would say, I don't think Magic was bad. I think he was average. So I would say all the top 10 players, they're not like liability was a strong. Like Trae Young is a liability on defense. Like he's too small, stuff like that. Chris Paul at his age, sometimes you can consider him a liability depending on certain matchups.
Ooh, interesting.
So I think like just depending on your like if you're a liability on defense,
so that's more to do with size than
the
actual talent.
Well, looking at the top 5 point guards, I guess Steve Nash is a liability on defense.
You have him as top 5 point guard?
He's close, but top 8. Let's say top 10 point guards.
Okay.
Top 10 shooting guards. James Harden is a liability on defense. Allen Iverson wasn't the best defender. He was an average defender.
You think Harden was a liability, or he just didn't want to?
I think he's an average defender. When he bought in, he was a good defender.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but when Luka buys in, he's a good defender too.
Yes, but I wouldn't call Luka a liability. So it's like a liability is like somebody who like he can't guard the 5th best player.
So how does that relate back to the OG and Nobi versus?
Well, it relates more to the Luka and Tatum thing where I understand what Drew's talking about. Luka, like Tatum's defense is so elite. I understand why he puts Tatum over Luka because he has the two-way game. Because when you're an all-time great, there usually is little to no weakness in your game on both sides of the ball. So for the most part, we can nitpick Magic or whatever. But for the most part, most of the guys in the top 10, there's little to no weakness. So I understand the Tatum over Luka thing. But when, like you said, when your offense is so much, like when you give so much on that offensive end, especially in today's game where offense is more important than defense, sometimes you got to weigh in and go with the Luka guy. But we wouldn't say Trae Young over Jason Tatum. So it's certain guys.
And I know that when I talk about Luka and I associate his name with other greats, it could sound strong, but that's how we should be treating Luka. His game is not regular by any stretch of the means. It's something that we have almost never seen in the NBA. I don't know if we've ever seen something like this outside of maybe LeBron, honestly. But that's why you have to associate his name with a LeBron, a Jordan, or a Magic too. It's going to get to that point where Luka is mentioned with the greats because he's that good.
The Pelicans right now are on a great stretch. They're 17-6. They're the first seed in the West. They're on a 6-game win streak. yesterday there was a lot of commotion made about Zion dunking on the Suns.
It's tough.
Boo-hoo.
And for me, I loved it. And I love Zion's answer after that even more. Because Zion, all he did was give respect to the Suns. We're going to see them in the playoffs. I feel like Zion's prepared. And the Pelicans right now, it's funny because in the offseason, we were talking about the West tiers. And there are teams that I had as contenders that aren't at the moment. The Wolves wasn't right on that. But ultimately, my thesis around the take I was giving was that the Western Conference is wide open this season. And if there are multiple teams this year, if things go right, they can make it to the Western Conference Finals or the Finals. And the Pelicans right now are one of those teams that if things go right, they can make it to the Finals. They are that good.
What do you mean by things go right?
Zion stays healthy. Brandon Ingram's playing. Yeah. I think they just need to be healthy, and the matchups have to make sense. The Pelicans, it's not just the Zion thing, because Zion's a superstar.
Yes.
And when you look at this Pelicans team, and this is something that I was thinking since the offseason, you need stars to win a championship. Well, the Pelicans have a superstar in Zion.
Yep.
They have a star in Brandon Ingram.
Yep.
They have a star in C.J. McCollum.
Yep.
And then the role players, Jonas Valanciunas, Herb Jones,
great,
Jose Alvarado,
great,
Trey Murphy,
awesome,
Larry Nance, Najee Marshall. I'm not even mentioning a guy like Devontae Graham or Dyson Daniels.
Recently.
The Pelicans have a problem where their team they have too many good players.
And they have the Lakers pick.
Yeah, so they're going to get even better. The Pelicans can make the finals. They have been amazing. Right now, they have the second best net rating in the NBA. 6 players averaging in double figures. And this team is a finals contender. They can make the NBA finals. They can come out the West.
Yo, for
There's
sure.
no doubt in my mind for me.
Riv, what's wrong with that
it's
statement?
It's not ridiculous.
It's tough.
Because the West right now really is a
If they
crapshoot.
face the Warriors right now in the playoffs, they would smoke them.
Okay. You saying that does not move me one bit, bro. I promise.
The Pelicans, listen, Riv.
Smoke them might be a
Draymond not guarding Zion, bro. I'm sorry.
He's talking strong right now, but I share a lot of similar beliefs.
Because
the defense,
tough.
They're a young team,
tough.
But the defense still top 3 in the league right now.
Zion.
And Zion's now in the mix. There was a TikTok, actually, Jose Alvarado. I think he was mic'd up on the bench. He was like, things changed now because we got that guy. And the camera points to Zion. That's the truth. Zion and his impact and how and what he means to the city, to the team. It can't be said enough. You're seeing it on the basketball court recently. Over these last 5 games, he's shooting almost 70% from the field. This is the Zion that we knew, which was just him getting to be on the court consistently. But the defense, man, we spoke a little bit about it. Riv, man.
Yep.
It's like when you get a good team around you that cares about defense.
I'm just laughing at Riv. He's just like, yep.
He already knows it's coming, that's why.
When you get a team that cares about defense together, it's like it motivates another individual to want to care and give their effort on defense.
I wish everybody felt like that.
Right.
I really do.
Because we saw it with Jason Tatum, right? Did we not see that with Jason Tatum? So why wouldn't we see it with Zion, a generational talent?
All I said was, can we see it? That's all I asked.
One of the most gifted athletes we've seen in this league. So I'm just curious, why did you doubt it?
All I said was, can I see it, bro? Like, okay, wait a minute. This shit getting out of hand.
I think Tatum's defense was also a different
First of all, he came out of college
than,
playing defense, so that was a terrible example.
But even still, it was once Ime got here. That's when he really started.
Yeah, it was like he got a coach, and he had some guys around him. He became elite.
And he got bigger. He was a lot skinnier.
No one really ever acknowledged Tatum's defense until last season because he really
ball knowers knew he was playing good defense.
He was a solid defender, but never this. Never this.
But yeah, you're right.
But like, I said I just want to see it with Zion.
No, you said he's not good on defense.
He was not good on defense. Like, you know what?
He wasn't. But KD was.
But we wasn't.
Which was ridiculous.
Why are we bringing KD up?
That's what
I know Riv's saying, Riv, you were right in the past, but right now you're not right. And
right now, it wasn't even.
No, but you couldn't project.
This happens all the time.
That's why they didn't
project. He projected it, and you're just saying historically hasn't been.
We're not mad that you didn't project.
No, you're cooked. You keep talking about this shit. You keep talking about this KD shit, and it's just like, why do you keep bringing that up?
Because the problem and the issue that Andrew's having also is that
Shout out Andrew.
You just don't.
Haven't heard that in a minute.
You just don't project.
He's upset about it, which I understand.
You
That
kick.
is all I
understand.
You kick. You disrespect.
He's talking.
You act like it cannot happen. That's what you do. You acted like Zion could not turn into a great defender.
I don't know.
Wait, hold on.
This
Drew,
feels
hold on.
a little harsh.
Yeah, no, because it's facts.
I called him.
Remember when the Kings traded for Kevin Huerter and I said
laughed.
he's a good pickup,
I laughed.
and he said. He doesn't move me.
He doesn't move me.
He's one of their most important players.
He doesn't
now.
move me.
So
It happens.
The problem,
It's just like when he told us Minnesota was going to be a first seed, and it didn't move the shit out of anybody.
that's also like when I said the Bulls were going to be playing team, and where are they now? They're a playing team. It was going to be worse than Washington, and the New York Knicks, and they're worse for both of them.
Bro, this is why you get L's at the end of the year, and I take L's in the beginning because you take victory laps in November. The season don't start in November, buddy. You could take the victory laps all you want now.
So KD's going to slow down defensively.
No, the argument was never about that. Stop bringing up KD,
Wait,
bro.
so what victory? The Kings victory lap?
The King.
You think the Kings are going to fall off?
I gave you that one.
They have the 6th best net rating in the NBA right now.
I gave you that one.
Okay.
I gave you that
Kings,
one.
you're going to give me the Bulls too?
I can give you that one too.
And what about the DeJounte Murray versus D'Lo assist? I cashed
listen,
out,
and this
but
is
I
what
care
it
about the
felt
bragging
there.
rights.
Keep this.
You felt
DeJounte
bad.
Murray was cooking D'Lo's ass for 3 weeks. He's mute. He doesn't say a word. He's quiet. Shit changes. DeJounte goes out. He gets hurt. He's down by like 0.2 assists. Now all of a sudden, now all of a sudden he's on Twitter. I told y'all about D'Lo. I told y'all about DeJounte.
No, because you act like it was a hot take. It wasn't a hot
when
take.
he's losing.
It wasn't a hot
But
take.
mind you,
Why would I be loud? Who's loud when they're losing? Why would I be loud when I'm losing?
You don't win it in November. It's a season thing.
But I've won on a lot of stuff already.
What?
KD is a great defender this year.
I never said he wouldn't be.
Yes, you did. You did.
I said Kevin Durant wouldn't be a great defender in 2022, 2023. I said that. Right, we were arguing about before.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we were arguing about.
No, but he also
I didn't
said
project
that
he wasn't going to be a great.
No, but you did project that Zion wasn't going to be a good defender.
No, he did that too.
I said I had
I'm
to
just
see
being a
it.
prick
Yeah, I
now.
said, look, see how he see what he did, right?
No, but I'll give it to you. You were just talking about the past.
I'm talking about when we have our discussion, most of the time, I'm talking about the then now moment. You can't bring up something that I'm talking about the then now moment and try to say, well, yeah, this year proved that part in that life was right. No, that's not how life goes.
But the then now moment, KD has always been a great defender, though.
See, and this is why we got into an argument, because in Brooklyn before that he wasn't. He wasn't. Before last year. He wasn't.
Here's a similar thing, right? To relate it to the topic at hand. Kevin Durant wasn't a great defender until he joined the Warriors, who were known for their defensive prowess. Yeah. So what does KD do? Now he turns it on defensively. Now he's a great defender. He has elite moments as a defender as well.
Yes. But let's not act like he wasn't a great defender when he wasn't. Let's not do that.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. But my point being,
that's in the 2021 playoffs.
You have a team around you that cares about defense. It is.
It is.
Okay, word.
You have it. You have a unit that cares about defense. You're a superstar that was primarily focused on offense because your team wasn't good. Yes. Now you realize.
I never told you Zion was. I just at that moment. Was I shit talking? Absolutely. That's what I do. But I never projected he was going to be. I just said I got to see it, and he's showing me. So what? Now what can I say?
You were wrong. Just say that.
I mean, okay, was I wrong about him showing me? Okay, I guess.
Because you didn't believe that he could.
Because I didn't project. I don't project.
Could you believe that he could do it? Be honest.
I don't know. I can't answer. I don't know. Maybe I didn't think he would do it this early. That can be an answer.
Zion.
In 2021, the Nets had the best defense rating in the NBA playoffs.
They played the Celtics.
And then the Bucks.
No, wait. They played Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. Yeah. And then they went on to play the Bucks. Don't ever.
You know the Bucks series was a great defensive series.
It was, but you're talking about a 7-8 game fucking.
Against
I don't even know
NBA
how many
champions.
Yeah, but then they played one of the worst Celtics playoff teams.
Okay,
in a while.
Just look at the Bucks though. They played a major defense in that series.
Early on in the series, did you think the Bucks didn't play well?
I think the Nets just played better significantly.
Because I think games 1 through 3, the Bucks played horrible, but game 3 they still ended up winning.
I'm just saying. KD, the tools and his skill set was always there for him to be a great defender.
Yeah.
And that's what got me annoyed. And now we see that when there's a coach in there that's bought in, KD is turning it up. He's one of the best rim protectors in basketball. But Pelicans, right? So you act like
there we go, Pelicans.
NBA Finals. So that's not in their future? They can't do that this year?
I think when you talk about Finals contender, I'm not going to go as early as to call them that.
They can't make it out the West. That's what.
Well, why not?
The issue with Joel's statement is if everything goes right. You can make an argument for a bunch of teams
if they're playing
goes right.
The way that they're playing right now. Brandon Ingram comes back. Mm-hmm. He's a part of this unit. You just add a 25 point per game player in Brandon Ingram.
I like to see the matchups. I like to wait until
If this
playoff
Let's
Pelicans
go over
stays
some-
healthy,
Have they
though,
shown
then
you
you definitely
that-
want to.
Hey, Drew, hold on. Let's go over some hypothetical matchups.
But hold on. This is
if they face Memphis.
This
how
is
would
a,
it
this
turn
is
out?
hold on, just real quick, because this is a freshly new team. The starters have played like 11 games together.
But last year they were
No,
basically
but I'm saying
together.
this is a new team.
Sorta, kinda. You just
in November
plucked in Zion.
In November, I'm not calling a new fresh team a finals contender. They haven't even gone through their growing pains. They haven't even finished the full season. Stop trying to attack me because I'm not agreeing. I'm not agreeing with calling them a finals contender
one's
in
attacking.
November.
So their
All
age,
we're
so their
saying is that
age is
they
why
are.
they can't make it out.
No,
the West.
I don't know. They have that. Like I don't know. I want to see the matchups. I want to see when the playoffs start, who they play. They have not played a full playoff game together. Can I at least see that?
But
first?
without Zion last season,
they lost.
But they gave the number 1 seed.
Yeah, but they lost though. I still want to. I still
they-
want to see them
you can
together,
lose and still
bro.
play well.
That doesn't mean I'm gonna just because they lose to the Suns. That doesn't mean they lost to the Suns. They get Zion. They're a finals contender. I don't know. I still have to see, bro. It's
the
November.
way that they're playing right now,
It's-
are you expecting?
Sorry,
that-
it's December. It's December 10th. I'm
Okay,
not calling
okay.
anybody a finals contender December 10th.
so no one's a finals contender
In the West. There's nobody that's really
There's no
stood
favorite.
out. There's
There's
no
no
favorite. There's
favorite.
nobody that
They've
stood out right
stood
now.
out. They've stood out.
I mean, they're one seed
If
right
nobody stood out, would you
Suns
argue?
were just one.
8 and 2
The
of the
Suns
last
were
Wait,
just
hold
one.
on.
I know, but 8
If
and 2 of the
nobody
last
has
10.
stood out, would
In the
you
West.
argue the West is wide open?
for sure.
I can give you that one.
Yes.
Yes.
If it's wide
There's
open,
just no
why
favorites
can't
in
the
the West
Pelicans
right now.
be
Exactly.
that
Why
team
aren't
that
they
comes
one
out?
of the
I'm just
contenders?
not ready to call anybody a finals
So
contender.
no one's a contender in the West.
I'm just not ready to call anybody.
Someone's
that.
gonna make it.
I'm just okay, and I can tell you that in April. It's fucking December.
But
bro.
don't you think 8 teams or 7 teams that can't make the finals?
I can tell you who's not going to make the finals.
So wouldn't that put
Wait,
the
are the
rest
Cavs
teams
an
that
Eastern
can make the
Conference Finals contender? Are the Cavaliers? Why do you have to think about it when they haven't went through growing pains either, like the Pelicans? They
'Cause
haven't
they have
been
Donovan
through a
Mitchell.
Okay, and the Pels have Zion Williamson.
I think that's a bit of a different comparison.
I think Zion's better. Yeah, you're right.
I understand what you're saying, but historically, Donovan Mitchell's better.
For sure.
In the playoffs,
year,
Donovan
Zion
Mitchell's.
is-
No, I
Donovan's been
I
balling
agree
this
with
year.
you,
Donovan's
but
crazy.
in the playoffs, Donovan
So one
Mitchell's
player who's
historically
had
better.
playoff experience outside of Jared Allen, and Jared Allen got eliminated in the first round, they can be Eastern Conference contenders.
I didn't even answer the question. I was actually thinking about it. How are you going to? How are you
No,
going to?
so why?
So think about
so
it.
why
So
are you
think
thinking
and
about it?
speak.
But the Pelicans, you're
Because-
just saying no, they
because
can't, or you don't know.
Because I said I'm not ready to. They're a new team. The other team has Donovan Mitchell, who
The
has
Cavs
more
are a new
experience.
team, too,
but they have
though.
Donovan Mitchell, who has more experience. And he literally
their
is
leader.
a top
Yes,
15
he's their
scorer
leader and he
all
has
time
experience.
in the playoffs. It's completely different. Whether Zion is better than D Mitch or D Mitch is better than Zion. That's not the
CJ
discussion.
McCollum has playoff experience. He's done a lot of great things in the playoffs too, though.
CJ
They have
McCollum or Donovan Mitchell.
You know that
Donovan
answer,
Mitchell,
but that's not the question.
CJ McCollum has
But
playoff
it's a different type
experience.
we
of
go
level.
1-to-1.
It's a different type of level. We're talking about a number one guy.
But the
who's
number one,
averaged 30.
but the number one guy on the Pelicans is Zion. That's
But
the
Zion has not
comparison.
played
And Brandon
enough.
Ingram
He's
had a
talking
great
about
playoff
people who
series
have
too.
playoff experience.
But
Is
see,
all.
I'm talking about a different type of playoff experience. Donovan Mitchell is a different
He's a
type
dog.
of playoff
He's a dog.
experience,
He's
bro,
a dog.
as opposed to CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum was a hyper up number 2 guy. Donovan is that guy in the playoff. That
Yeah,
is a
but the
different
Pelicans
type.
have a
And even
better
then-
team than the Cavs,
Even
though.
I still didn't
they
even.
do.
I still had to think about the Cavaliers. I didn't even answer it, so I still had to think about
But
it.
for the Pelicans, it was just
what
a
do
no.
you think?
The Pelicans was I don't want to. I'm not
All right,
giving them
so
a
let's
number. I'm
not
not
say
giving
finals.
them anything. Stop putting words in my mouth.
Are
That's
they
not what I
contenders?
said.
Are they contenders for
When
the
you say
Western
you don't know,
Conference
it's basically
Finals?
saying no.
No, it's not. You just
At the moment, it's no.
No, it's
At the
I
moment,
don't
it's I
know.
don't
Riv,
know.
No,
answer
it's
my
not.
question.
At the
Riv,
moment,
Nah,
it's
Riv,
like
answer my question.
What's your question?
Can the Pelicans go to the WCF? Are they contenders to go to the WCF?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, so that's simple.
Yeah, because if the West is wide open, but I'm not ready to say finals contender, bro. That's all. I'm not
if
ready
they
to
go
say
to
that.
the
Be a four-game
WCF, they're
series.
the
They can
final
go to the
four team.
WCF. You can go to the finals.
I'm just giving you that. Yes, realistically, it's a wide open West, but I'm not ready to call them an NBA. Like, y'all upset at me because I don't want to.
Nah, I know what you're saying.
I don't want to
upset.
say what the problem
No,
is.
it's
Listen,
He
bro,
doesn't want to
I'm
jump to
not-
conclusions
I'm not
right now.
upset at that.
They
I'm really not
call them
upset.
dudes finals contenders in fucking December
Understand.
because I don't want to agree with it.
Are the
I'm not
Nuggets
saying,
finals
I'm not
contenders?
saying
Last
y'all
year-
wrong. I'm not
last year-
saying y'all wrong. I'm not. If you want to call them a finals contender, that's on you. If you want to call them a finals contender, that's on you. That's okay. I'm not going to argue with that. All I'm saying is I'm not jumping the gun on anything. I'm just going to wait and see until April who plays who, and then I determine, okay, this is why they can go. Matchups, shit like that. Who do they scheme up against? I'm not about to sit here and say in December, oh, based off these games, they're going to go because the Suns were first seed, Portland was
So
first
you're
seed.
just not going to
They're
have a
still
take
waiting.
on this until February.
So
Then.
no, but Riv,
No, I'm not
that's-
going to have a take on them going to the finals, but they can play amazing.
We're
We
having
can acknowledge
we're
they're playing
having a
amazing.
full circle argument right now because what was my first issue that we had when we first started talking about the Pelicans? That you don't project. You won't project on Zion, and now you won't project on the Pelicans. Is it so?
So do you want me to
Riv, let me
project?
finish. I do. That is what
That's
I'm
what this show's
asking.
about,
It really is.
They want me to project
Why-
just so they can.
and
every
let me
segment
know
can't be
if
on.
you're
I don't
wrong.
know.
Why can't
don't-
no? But
But
Rick, why
look at the name of
can't
the show.
we project that the Pelicans, who have been arguably the best team in basketball, I definitely would take the Celtics.
So you want me
but
to
they've
project?
been amongst one of the best teams in basketball, not
Read
only
me-
on
read me the
offense but
teams.
on defense.
I'll project right now.
And also, to
Recently,
piggyback
they've
off your
just been
point,
on
Drew,
fire, though.
we are talking
Ain't
about
doing
this topic December 10th. So December 10th, at this point in time, can the Pelicans make the finals? That's really the question. Not saying they're going to do it in April or June. We're just saying, as of right now, are they the best team in the West? That's really what it is. And if they're the best team in the West, they can possibly make the finals out of the West.
There's a good amount of teams that can.
All right,
I can acknowledge the team is playing great without
Because
calling
the
it a
thing is,
contender.
we can understand
shoot
who's
me
not going to
17.
do it. We know
I'll
the
go-
Blazers aren't going, right?
I'll go as
so
low
we
to-
could do the
Do we,
opposite.
if everything goes right, maybe.
No, even if everything goes
No.
right for the Blazers, not
Come on,
going
we,
to the
like you gonna
finals.
say that for every fucking
But
team?
there's some
I'm gonna go
teams
as
that
low
you
as
see
10
you see a
because-
Let's
road
just-
there.
let's
You
just
see
do
a
this,
road
Drew.
there
I'm
for
only
some
going 10
teams.
because this team
Drew,
is, when healthy, can
who-
actually do stuff in
Who
the
can the
playoffs.
Pelicans
Talking about the
beat
Lakers?
in a playoff series? Who can the Pelicans beat in a playoff series realistically? And let's go over certain matchups and stuff. So, Drew, name the teams.
All right, so we have the Clippers.
What's the situation? They're healthy?
They're
That's-
I'll give the healthy Clippers.
I would
Healthy
take the
Clippers, I would
I
take them
the
too.
Clippers.
You would take the
I
Clippers.
would take the Clippers,
I'll take
yeah.
the Clippers.
I would.
It's a great series, man. I don't know what happens.
It's
there.
gonna be a great
Yep.
series
We haven't,
regardless.
Yeah.
we haven't really seen healthy Kawhi this year.
Trailblazers.
They
I
would
would take
beat
the
them.
Pels.
I would take the Pelicans
Pels,
as
yep.
well. Timberwolves. I would
Pels.
take the Pelicans. And this is with Karl Anthony Towns playing.
I would take the Pels.
Because how do you defend the Pelicans
Yeah, I would
if you're
take
the
the
if you're the Timberwolves?
They have rim protectors for Zion, but
No,
Zion
they
is
do. But
different, yeah.
if you play
Rudy.
Zion as your stretch or your small ball five,
Yeah, I would take the Pels.
the Mavericks. I'm taking the
They can beat-
Pelicans.
They
Mavericks.
could definitely beat the Mavs.
I got
That would
the
be a good
Pels in that
series.
It would be a great matchup.
I have the
That's-
Pelicans.
Like,
It's
'cause we
just
know
too much depth.
Luka could do
He
that
can
though,
win
bro.
that.
Like
But I'll
he
take
could
the
win you
Pels.
that
I'll take the
series.
Pels.
All right, the Jazz.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'd take the Pelicans.
Pelicans.
The Kings.
Pelicans.
I would take the Pels.
The Nuggets.
Nuggets.
That would be a great.
Yeah, but
Amazing
again,
series.
that's a series the Pels can win
I'll take the
too.
Nuggets.
There's none of
But
these
who's
teams.
stopping Zion?
It's a toss up.
I mean, what are you gonna ask me that question every time you get to a team?
Yes.
Who's
That's
stopping
a
the
question.
Joker? Who's stopping the Joker? We can play. We can
When
do
you're
this.
fantastic, when you're that
like,
good, bro, you're gonna
come
get
on.
yours no matter
But
what.
you have to stop Zion, CJ, and Bi versus Denver.
Ex-
They,
But
they,
that's
they,
a-
they, I
that
think
is
they can
their
stop
question.
CJ.
That is the.
if they're healthy too,
But can they
Jamal
stop
and
Bi?
That's true.
Yes, yes.
But the Joker, he's
he's different.
What worries
Yeah.
me about the Denver
MVP for a
matchup
reason.
is that Nikola Jokic is not a rim protector.
No.
So Zion is going to feast all day on them.
For sure.
But Joker's going to get his way
Exactly.
also. That's a toss-up series.
Zion's gonna get his no matter.
but
who
I
they
would
play.
I would favor experience in the Nuggets, but that's a toss-up 7-game series.
I think I want to lean the Pelicans here, but it's very close. The Suns.
the Pelicans are winning.
I think
I
I would
think in
take the
5-6.
Pelicans. It's
5-6.
If they had Zion last year, I think they beat them last year.
I would probably take the Pels too.
Ooh, I would.
But let's throw respect on the Suns because
been- yeah.
this entire season so far,
That
they
one I
have been
think-
It's just
amazing.
hard in the playoffs if Chris. I mean, we're gonna talk about them later.
The
but if
Suns-
you
the
just
Suns to
got
me
booked
right
really
now-
rely on-
I got to think back on that one.
The Suns
that's
to me
tough.
are a great regular season team.
I could see that. Yeah,
But they have certain things about their team, like the lack of shot creation, that makes me not believe in them in the playoffs. They have a great offensive system, so they overachieve.
Yep.
Where the Pelicans have an abundance of talent, and that's why I trust them more in the playoffs.
And then the last team is the Grizzlies, which I think
take the
personally
Grizzlies.
would be their toughest matchup.
That's a toss-up.
I would take the Grizzlies.
I would take the Pelicans in that series, but that is a toss-up.
That one's really tough. I just think overall Pelicans just have a
So
more
at worst, the
stacked
Pelicans are the
roster.
third best team in the West.
I had 3 teams over them. I had Clippers, Grizzlies.
Third,
you
fourth.
you didn't even say the Warriors.
I did not have the Warriors who were
He only
11.
he only read the first 10.
Well, the Warriors, too. The depth, I would favor the Pelicans in that series.
I don't know what this Warriors team looks like, and
If we
But
get,
But the Warriors can make a move. And
exactly,
they can
and
change.
then
I would
very
I would
easily-
take the Warriors.
I would still trust the Warriors, but if
Yeah.
we were doing, if it started today, I would take the Pels.
We wouldn't be in if it started today.
This is also very true. You're the 11th seed.
Yep.
That's
So,
insane.
We would not be in if it started today.
But I think what we can come away is we know that they're a finals contender. There's nobody outside the Clippers when they're healthy, and out of all the teams, we haven't seen a healthy Kawhi this season. That's the one team we're going to take. Oh yeah, we're taking the Clippers over.
It's
So
just-
they are, yeah, they're a
Oh,
finals
I'm taking the
contender.
Pelicans over the Clippers. That being said, it's a respect for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, for the fact
They're-
that they went to the WCF with their main guy hurt.
Yes.
So this year, what's been
Clippers starting to
so
lose me though.
I
this
get
year,
it.
what's
I
been
get it.
so
Kawhi, bro.
amazing with the Pelicans is that they're switching on almost 30% of all ball screens, which is 10th in the league. And with Larry Nance, it jumps up to 40% when they run that small ball 5 lineup, which has been a deadly lineup for them.
Yeah.
Zion in the last 6 games, he's averaging 29, 9, and 6 assists, shooting 67% from the field.
Unbelievable.
I think that when B.I. and Zion play together, it hurts Zion's game because B.I. has the ball a lot. And they play Zion in this off-ball cutting role and as a roller sometimes.
Not him.
Zion needs to have the ball in his hands. The Pelicans are at their best when he's making decisions with the ball, when he can drive at ease. In the Raptors game, he was evading triple teams by just spinning off of them. And defensively, he ranks 6th among 68 players to defend 200 or more picks as a screener, allowing 0.85 points per possession. League average is 0.99. So he's been great in that aspect. And he's holding opponents to 36% shooting as a contesting defender on shots greater than 15 feet. And overall, his defensive field goal percentage is 42.5. So he has been a two-way player this season, and he's been great both ways. Elite offensively, I'd say great defensively.
I'm with you.
And this is a Pels team. I feel like just all of them have been overlooked. Like you have all of these guys. Zion first few years being hurt. Brandon Ingram got traded. You have Alvarado, who's been overlooked his whole career. Herb Jones was,
Second round pick.
like you have all of these guys who are all hungry and want to prove that they belong. Basically, even though you have guys that are on star/superstar levels, but they all have something to prove. Like these are all still young guys trying to solidify themselves in the NBA.
An amazing story about Jose Alvarado is that in the summer, he spent some time with Tony Parker, and they were watching film together, and a lot of the stuff that Tony Parker was pointing out as a point guard is stuff that Alvarado was seeing as well, and that gave Alvarado a vote of confidence that he can be a great point guard in the NBA.
Shout out to him, man. Shout out
He's
to
been doing his
PR.
thing.
Stand the fuck up.
Alvarado is the heart and soul of the Pelicans. He's the heart and soul.
Facts.
He's one of
For
those
sure.
guys. He fits like that Jared
He's the new
Vanderbilt,
PJ?
Tucker.
He's the new PJ?
He's the new
Jose
one?
Alvarado's the heart and soul. Like when he's playing, the Pelicans are outscoring teams by like 11 points in any lineup that he's in. He's really been amazing.
He's the definition of just scrappy guy. You know what I mean?
Heart and
Like
soul.
heart
That's
and
it.
soul. Just
But he doesn't want to be
gets it
limited
done.
to that. He said that he wants to be a great point guard one day. He does. That's why he worked on his jump shot. Defensively, he's a pest.
Yeah.
I like Jose Alvarado.
I do too.
He's good. I
Oh,
like
good
Jose Alvarado.
underdog story.
He's like Fred VanVleet, an underdog.
Shout out to my Pelicans,
Undrafted.
man. They're making me look smart. Look
Pelicans
very
are good.
smart.
Pelicans are good this
Very
year.
good.
Needed that after last year, man. Needed it.
Sacramento Kings right now are 14-10. They're the 5th seed. And now this topic is very easy.
Hold on, we got a donation that was pretty on topic, so I want to give a shout out. Shout out to Armis Jones. Pels dub, Brandon Ingram and Zion next Kobe Shaq X duo? Question mark.
No.
Kobe and Shaq's a strong statement.
I mean, that's easy for
Strong.
me. It's no.
It
Yeah,
is
and
no,
Zion,
of course,
yeah.
because you're talking about two
That's not
top 10
getting
players.
acknowledged.
and different play styles.
But
It has to get acknowledged.
But it
that was
it
crazy.
should get
Kobe and
acknowledged
Shaq is
because
crazy.
Zion is generational.
It should
and
not get
Brandon
acknowledged.
Ingram
Stop.
is-
That's where the cutoff stops.
It is the stop.
Stop.
It is the
Yes,
stop.
stop.
It is. However,
That's what you just
he has
ended.
he has all NBA potential 100%. So they could do some special things. They're
Zion
not
is
Kobe
not
and Shaq.
Kobe.
No,
We're talking about two
No,
top
Zion-
10
no,
players.
Zion,
Zion
Shaq.
Yeah.
Zion ain't
But
Shaq.
he's not
No,
Shaq.
he's not.
He's not.
The
But
gap
that's-
is
but in
just-
this comparison,
No,
that's who
that's-
was comparing
that's the
Shaq to.
comparison.
Yeah, but
Shaq
Zion,
was a
the
7
best,
foot
is not
Zion.
even
Correct.
as good as
and,
one of them.
and different play styles. and
Shaq
shit, so
was
it's
a
not-
7 foot Zion.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, why did he ask that, bro?
Hey, man.
He must be a Pels fan.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is.
Now, listen, Riv, I want you to go first on this topic.
I don't think I want to.
And
Am I going to get attacked
We're
again?
just going to debate it.
You got everyone was
attacked
saying you were
him.
getting blitzed. It was facts.
Yeah.
They came crazy.
Hey, man, you did the best you could there.
Whoa.
That was crazy.
What?
I don't know.
I said you.
No, I was reading a tweet.
Oh.
I mean, hey, bro, now welcome to the club. I get ran through every show, man.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He gets pinned against the wall. Double teams.
Riv,
Yo.
this is a question for all of us. It's a debate.
It's a debate?
Can the Kings finish with a top 6 seed in the Western Conference? I want you to go first.
Can they? You said this is the debate question?
It's always a debate, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
Because whatever I say, you're going to attack me regardless. So let me just start off by
I'm gonna
saying
go
this.
after you.
Yeah, which is funny. You know what? I'm going to start doing? I'm going to just start bringing your receipts to the show from now on. I'll be letting you slide, but now
Oh, don't worry. I got some receipts. I got some.
I'm gonna start bringing your L's because I went to
my W's.
I went through your Twitter one day.
I have more W's than L's.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
NBA, no, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't.
I do wholeheartedly.
I have to stay humble in the NBA. I'm still working my resume.
The only L's, the only true L's I have this year,
you have flips.
and I know all of my L's. I know all of my L's by heart.
That's hilarious.
My L was the Timberwolves. You know, they're playing better so far, but first seed, I don't think they're going to do that. But I think they're going to be better than people expect them to be. I think they'll get into the mix again.
I mean, people expect them to be a top 4 seed.
Yeah. Well, that was an L for sure. Boston, I overanalyzed the Missoula situation and the Ime situation. The Celtics.
I didn't even understand that one.
The Suns playing, which we all had them as a play-in.
We did.
Though. So that's a group L.
It is.
And
I
then
love group L's.
Christian Wood, that take with the Siakam one.
Oh, you went back on that one because you wasn't talking about that one 2 weeks ago.
No, I know. I mean, Christian Wood has been amazing this year.
Constantly
but I mean,
disrespected my
Siakam's
boy
all
Siakam.
NBA. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was wilding.
Yeah.
But in terms of my other ones, I was high on the Pels coming into the year. I was high on the.
Isn't like all three? I don't remember where I had them in the
The
standings.
Cavs I had them as a top 3 seed. The Nets are playing phenomenal right now. The Jock Vaughn Nets. I like the Nets.
You don't get a W for that.
No, I do because they went through a coaching change.
No, you left. You left.
Yeah,
you
the
cannot
Steve
get a
Nash
W.
regime.
Yeah, so you
the
can't.
Steve Nash one was horrible. This is a new team.
But you don't get to just go back on because
This is a new team.
There was never I'm off the Nets,
Is
but
it
if
not
they
a new
fire
team?
Nash, I'm back in.
But you never. It's like when you never did
You
that.
give that caveat.
I had the
Just
Bulls out the
making
plan,
shit up.
which was a hot take.
The season isn't over.
I had
No,
the
you
Nets.
they were fucking, like,
I had the
beat-
Nets.
He's getting W's in this. This is what
I
I'm
know,
saying.
Joel.
But you just said you wanted the Bulls to rebuild. You want them to just tear it apart.
No, you asked me, would you be opposed to a Bulls rebuild? I said I wouldn't be mad at it.
What would you do if you were the Bulls, though?
Right now?
Would you still go and try to fight for the play-in, or would you just rebuild and get your pick?
Depends.
Okay, but the point is that the Bulls suck right now. That's what it is.
Yeah, but
They're
the
not
Wizards
good.
are like a game ahead, right? So that's
Yeah, I know,
you didn't win that.
But you know who's ahead? The New York Knicks, baby.
By like
Yo,
2
we're
games.
ahead.
Levine's been cooking recently.
No, I'm actually not high.
And Jalen Brunson over Fred. That was a hot take in the summer, and
that
Brunson's
one
better
you
than
get
him.
you get a W for that
Brunson's
one.
better than
That's
him.
your real
Yeah.
W because you stood
That's
on
not my
that.
because
real.
you-
And the Kings is a W.
Fred's
Oh,
hurt.
yeah, the Kings
Fred's
also-
hurt.
Kings-
Take it easy.
Kings
All right,
also
Fred's
W.
hurt.
Listen, bro, it happens, but Brunson is better. Right now, the worst finisher in the NBA at the basket is Fred VanVleet. The worst. Absolute worst.
I thought it was.
Are you gonna take victory laps on an injured player?
Trey Jones.
I'm
Sounds
just
like he
saying.
is, I'll be honest.
That was such a... And also, I know that Donovan Mitchell didn't go to the Knicks.
I saw you tweet that.
That
I was
was-
just like,
what?
why are we
Bro.
taking a W on
Well,
that?
hypothetical.
Of all
Bro,
things?
if the
It
Knicks
didn't even happen.
Bro,
like,
if the
that
Knicks...
was an
But hold on.
obvious yes.
If the Knicks didn't... It wasn't obvious.
Wait, how do you
You
get a
got
W
Donovan.
for it?
It
though?
wasn't. We had you guys as a playing team regardless
No.
without Donovan.
I said
did have
if
you
the
guys with
Knicks
the
have
10th seed.
Donovan Mitchell, were they not going to be better than the Hawks, Bulls, and
Wait, so you
Raptors?
get a W for something that didn't happen?
No. But at the time, it sounded crazy that y'all said...
But
Y'all said
where's
that
your proof
it
of
was
being
crazy.
right?
Who's
Where's your proof of being right?
Just go back to the episode.
No. I'm saying you said that, but where's the evidence that it would have been true?
Well, if we're projecting, you don't think that it would be true?
Well, if the Knicks finish out of the play-in, then it'll be like, you know what I'm saying?
You don't think if Mitchell was on this Knicks team right now, they wouldn't be a top 6 team in the East?
Top 6?
Granted, what he's done for Cleveland.
Cleveland has better players.
Julius Randle's been playing amazing this year.
Yeah, but Cleveland has better players.
Brunson, Mitchell, Randle, that's quite easily to me a top 5 seed in the East. With the
Brunson.
depth that we have,
You would have got Mitchell if you.
I think we would have traded RJ. The deal was RJ quickly.
No, I'm
and
saying you
picks
still
and
would have got
stuff.
Brunson.
Yeah, we had him already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
You said
know.
Top 5 seed?
Truthfully, I don't care about the hype.
So do you not like RJ because he halted the Donovan Mitchell trade?
No, I actually wanted to keep RJ. I just don't like RJ because he's not good.
Yeah, I mean,
He is good.
He's
He
just
is
not
good.
what I.
you
thought
guys
he
are a
was
game
gonna
out of the
be.
5 seed now, so I would definitely be able to see that.
Oh, but you don't get a W for that though.
All right, I don't care. I have other W's I can fall back on,
You do it for sure.
like a mattress.
A couple.
But this the question. It's the King. Can
Here we
they
go.
be a top 6 seed in the Western Conference now? If you don't want to go first, I respect
said
your
yeah.
wishes, Riff. You want to go first?
Yeah, they
Okay.
could- I think they could be a top 6.
Top
team.
6.
I think they could be a top. I think they could finish top as long as they keep.
Are your Warriors cooked then?
No, the Warriors getting in.
All right. So
Name the
who-
6 real
in
quick.
top
Actually,
six?
actually.
Pels,
all right.
Grizzlies,
Mhm.
Suns, Nuggets. Right now, Kings are 5. Then we got Jazz.
Oh
Mavs,
yes.
Well, you didn't hear the teams underneath.
Timberwolves,
It doesn't matter
Blazers,
who's
Clippers,
underneath.
No, but
Warriors.
it does matter
Thunder, Lakers.
because you
Warriors
have
would be
the
a top 6
Blazers.
seed.
Blazers without Dame.
The
fell
Warriors
off
would be a
bunch.
top 6 seed.
So the Warriors are going to be top 6.
So the Jazz pop out.
What about the Clippers?
The Clippers don't get in. The Mavs don't get in. The Wolves don't get in.
No, the Clippers will probably be like 7 seed playing.
I think the Clippers are probably a play-in.
They just want to get in at this point. I don't think they.
I think the Mavericks also are a play-in.
Yeah.
I think the Wolves are a top 6, but 6. I think they'll be 6th.
So you don't think the Warriors get in?
The Warriors getting in is going to be tough, bro.
It's not. But
I saw Wiseman got sent back down.
To answer your question, Joel, I do think the Kings can be a top 16 as long as they keep it consistent, play the way they've been playing offensively. They've been one of the best offensive teams in the league. It's been getting better.
It's still like bottom 12 or 13, something like that.
And they won last night without Fox, so that's a big win. Offensively, they just keep doing if they keep shooting at the rate they're shooting, and they keep playing at the way they've been playing.
The poor man Jokic.
I don't see why they can't be a top 16. They still, this team got to go through their growing pains, so we'll see how they handle that type of adversity mid-season. But if they don't even go through that, that's a blessing in disguise also. But I do think they can be a top 16 and top 6 team in the West. I could see it.
When often making these comparisons, we talk about other teams that are not in the play-in picture that could get in the picture. But in order for that to happen, the Kings got to slow down. And they're not slowing down. I'm crowning the Kings. The Kings are getting crowned on this show. They deserve it because they've been playing nothing short of Kings. They've been Kings this year. They're playing like it. They're going to secure a top 6 seed in the West. I'm almost certain of it. And there is something about this offensive system that Mike Brown has brought to Sacramento that elevates the talent of the team. I was high on the Kings in the offseason, getting Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, who's been a 6th Man of the Year candidate, and Sabonis playing the 5 and playing a Jokic Nuggets role. Right now, their offense is 2nd in points per game, 5th in offensive rating, 6th in net rating, and Kings by the numbers. This is their offensive frequency of certain play types that they run. They're 23rd in ISOs, so they don't rely on that. They're 1st in transition, led by De'Aaron Fox, and Sabonis bringing the ball up the court, being a point center. They're 28th in pick and roll frequency, which last year they were a top 10 team in. They're 17th in post-ups. They're 1st in handoffs. They run that action a lot with Kevin Huerter. He's had an amazing season. And they're 5th in cuts. Right now, their offense is built off of dribble handoffs, transition, and cutting. And really, they've just taken the Warriors' offense and implemented parts of it. Kevin Huerter is playing that Clay, Steph role where he's coming off the screens off the ball. Sabonis is playing that Draymond role, handling the ball at the top of the key, finding guys off of cuts. And Kevin and De'Aaron Fox is just doing what he does, just attacking the basket, being a great slasher. This team is playing amazing. And defensively, they started off really rough, but now they're 17th in defensive rating. And the reason why their defense was bad this year is because opponents were making shots at a historic rate above expectation. On shots where they play defense 0 to 2 feet away, the Kings team's opponents are shooting like 57% from the field. So that means that on highly contested shots, teams are shooting 57%, which I think is going to only go down when you're contesting that well. The Kings contest well. It's just a lot of lucky stuff that's happening right now. But they're going to be a top 6 seed. I believe in it. The only thing that can deter them is this De'Aaron Fox current foot injury. He missed last game, and he's been slowing down because of it, to the point that he might not even be an all-star, which hurts my heart because I want him to get in the game.
He deserves to play.
He does, but the injury has been holding him back. That's the only thing that can hold the Kings back. But this team is a full, well-oiled machine. They run amazingly, and yeah, they're an awesome, great team. They are.
They are a very fun team to watch. Offensively, they've been dominant. What are they, top 3 in offensive rating? The thing that's holding me back, you just gave me a lot of stats about how right now it's seeming as if they are unlucky on the defensive side of things. We'll see if that trend decides to go the opposite way. But I do just have a hard time putting them as a top 6 when the Warriors are not anywhere near that top spot yet. The Clippers aren't in there as well. The Wolves are also the 8th seed. The Blazers, who without Damian Lillard fell all the way to 9. I don't know if it's a guaranteed lock. I think they can definitely make the playoffs. I think they're a play-in lock. There's no way they dip past 8. That being said, it's hard for me to 100% right now where we stand say that they're a top 6 seed right now. There are just teams I feel more comfortable with.
Top 6 lock?
That's what I'm saying. That I just feel more comfortable with the Pelicans. I feel more comfortable with the Nuggets. I feel comfortable with the Suns, the Grizzlies. Even though they're not in it right now, the Warriors definitely do deserve that acknowledgement. The Clippers, if Kawhi continues to play, even though he hasn't, and Paul George gets back into the court, they're one of those teams that I look at that I still would take over the Kings. But the Clippers are not a team that you can rely on, so I'm going to keep them out of this conversation. Do I think they can? Sure. Do I see the Kings being in that 7-8 range, though? Yes.
I want them to. I'm going to go to a Sacramento Kings playoff game, the first one.
That'd be awesome, bro.
Yeah. I hope the tickets aren't like $1,000, bro. I'm going to be tight.
First time in a while, that shit's going to jump, bro.
The Kings are, I mean, right now the West is just so jumbled that the Kings could have one bad week and they go from a 5 seed to an 8 seed very easily. But I think right now the way they're playing offensively, like you guys mentioned, they're probably going to be in that conversation at least. I don't know. Right now I kind of, pointed at it. Like the Clippers, I'm getting to the point where I'm out. Like I don't see them as a team that's going to be a playoff lock. Like they will probably make the play and they're not going to fall outside that 10 spot. But I think when we're talking about the Clippers, we kind of have to start having a different conversation with them not being this, serious contender like we thought at the beginning of the season, where if everything goes right and they stay healthy, then they can make it. But right now we see they cannot stay healthy. Kawhi has not been able to stay on the court. And that really looks like the biggest competition to the Kings if the Clippers are able to stay healthy. And even so, the Warriors, who have been playing 500 ball, playing better of recent than especially the start of their season. But right now, like the Kings, they could be in that conversation with the Mavs, with the Timberwolves. And if that's where they're going to be, the way they're playing right now, I would take that over just Luka and the Mavericks in terms of just regular season play. And the Timberwolves, who have been very up and down, now have a huge injury to Cat. So I think with the way the West is shaping up right now, they could be in that top 6 seed. But they have to start thinking, what can we do to be a serious, maybe first round, win a first round playoff series? Because we see them as that playoff team. But I think in a playoff series, I'm still taking a lot of these teams over them in the West. So I don't know if that's making a move or even if they're, considering that.
The goal was just to get in.
It was.
And then figure out.
If you're at the trade deadline and you're a 5 seed, you want to make a move if you're the Kings.
Stop real quick, please.
This guy.
The Kings can upset who?
They can upset Memphis.
You would pick Memphis.
Why
a hater.
them of all teams?
Oh my God.
Because they played well against them. What do you mean?
Sorry,
That's
man.
what I'm going off of. I'm going off of game plan.
John Bain back together, full strength.
They can't stop De'Aaron Fox.
They can't stop John Bain.
They're
They
not.
can't stop John
They're
Bain.
not.
They
Their
can't.
defense has been so mid this year, below average.
No, it hasn't. Well,
Kings, they're like
they
they're
started
defensive
bottom
rating.
10, dude.
They started
defensive
they
rating.
started 29th in defensive rating. Now they're 17th.
That's the back
they're
half
still-
of the,
yeah, they're still-
They
Been
went
mid.
on a run where they held the Cavs scoreless
19.
for like a they went on a
Yes.
20-0 run where they
20-0
held
run,
the Cavs
yes,
scoreless.
yes.
Oh no, they're 19th, bro.
I decided to round to bottom 10. They're 19th. I'm looking at it right now.
All right. I hope that I didn't get. I probably got my.
It's all right. It's
numbers a couple
fine.
days
They're
ago.
19.
And I'm still taking even though it was just
No,
one
they're
season,
17th,
the
bro.
Grizzlies.
I'm looking at it right now.
Joe, am I tripping, bro?
One of you websites is lying.
I mean, I'm using NBA.
I'm on NBA. He's on basketball.
I'm on Basketball Reference. Yeah.
So either way,
It might
back
not
half of
Okay,
the.
regardless, they're still not
Basketball
good.
Reference says 17.
They're still not good.
No,
Yeah, but
NBA does
they
say
started.
19.
They started out 29th though. That's why
That's a
what I
big
was saying.
upgrade.
No, absolutely.
The unluckiness of the
You
shot
think,
making.
where do you think they'll
went
end
down.
up though? Probably like 14, 15.
I think they'll be a top 15 defense for sure. They play great defense.
No, I'm just-
it's just
yeah.
really been that unluckiness of the people making these contested shots.
The
That's really what it's been.
Yo,
That's
shout
what
out
it's been.
600 people in here. We
Yeah,
got
oh,
we
no,
got
it's
a
been
ton
busting-
of heads.
it's been busting for a
600
while.
people in here. Let's
If
bring
you
up that
haven't,
likes.
yeah,
Oh,
like
Shout out
like
John.
Shout out to our boy
Juice
John
in the
Twitter
back.
early, man.
we have 608 viewers right now. Only 147 likes. Let's
Like
get
the
that
video
like
if you
button
haven't already.
to 200. But on to the topic about the Kings. Like going,
I hope they play
talking
the
about them.
Memphis Grizzlies.
They have improved defensively, which makes me
I hope they play
believe.
the Grizzlies.
Which makes me believe that they're going to finish as a top 15 defense. They have the 6th best defense, the 6th best net rating in basketball. Apologies, the 6th best net rating. The only teams above them are the Bucks, the Celtics, the Pelicans, the Cavaliers, and there's one more team I'm forgetting. But the Kings have been an elite team this year. They have been.
Let's talk about Sabonis. Because it seemed like this episode's been a lot of victory laps. So I figured, let me throw myself
Has
into
been a
this
lot of
mix.
victory lapping.
I only want to bring his name up because I never really called him like the cream of the crop player, but all I simply said was that he was the poor man's Jokic, just to respect his game. And you guys, allowed me to sit in this chair.
Is this a group L
and
or
get belittled.
just me?
Yeah, no, it's a both of you.
Okay,
but
good.
Joel has at least come to me as a man. Said,
I have to privately.
No, I just wanted to.
So
like I said, it's been the episode of Victory Lap, so I just wanted to come here and highlight how Sabonis is exactly that, the poor man's Jokic. That's it. That's all I wanted to do.
Respect.
Riv, what's going on, man? Usually this is the other way around. You know, you take your W's with me, but it's seeming this episode.
No, you guys are indeed killing my high.
What's going on?
I won't lie.
What's going on?
You guys are indeed killing my high.
Me?
Tell you what, it's feeling great.
Yeah,
I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
I'm feeling damn good.
No, it's
Riv,
good.
come on, bro.
The
Turn
net
up.
shit was crazy. The net shit was crazy.
It's
What
okay.
net shit?
The first fucking debate we got on today.
Well, of course you would say that.
No, it's because
You're a
like
Celtics guy.
You know,
like we
Dehls-
can't take W's and L's every month,
Listen, man,
bro. Like,
you know what
we're
that's
just going
for?
back
All the
and forth
times you
forever.
mentioned 65 wins.
Yo, Dehls.
So cook up.
It's okay because
Cook up.
I'll win in the end.
We'll see. Listen,
I'll
bro,
win in the
right
end.
now I got your number.
You're a fucking Lakers fan. You don't have my number.
Hey, what does that have to do with anything? I'm talking about on the show.
You have one dub
Hey, I
right
got
now.
a couple. I got a couple right
What's
now.
the other ones?
Like I said, the Pelicans. And right now, this is a bonus one.
I feel like we all had the Pels as the top 6 seed, but I don't know.
No, actually, yeah, we
I
both had them
definitely
at this as a 5th seed. He
My
had them as a 6th
overreaction
fifth
was
seed.
that they were top 2 and going to the Western Conference Finals.
All right, well, we'll see how it ends, but it looks good so far.
Oh, for sure.
Overreaction.
Looks good in December. Is that what you're saying?
The Warriors got
I'm
to
not-
cook because
I'm not gonna lie,
we're
bro.
in the same boat.
I've been silent about this all show. Well, just as of recently, when you said my Pels, it's not just your Pels. I'm a big Pels guy.
This guy just wants to be grouped in with.
Is that
my
not
best.
facts?
No, I truly, I don't know.
We
That
had,
one I don't know.
Bro, we had a segment. Remember, Zion? It was with JC. It was Riv, Drew, JC. We had an episode where we talked about Zion and CJ McCollum getting traded to the Pelicans and Zion not reaching out. And all of y'all said he was going to be off the Pelicans.
It's because that's what the reports were.
There weren't reports on it, though.
That don't mean we
Yeah,
was
it's
like.
But in that show, which was in February 10th, I remember it like yesterday, I said that Zion can do next year with the Pelicans what Ja Morant did with Memphis, and he led them to the 2nd seed.
Hey, man.
We could both be Pelicans guys.
Listen, I know I am for sure. If you want,
I'm more of a Pels guy than you, bro.
Tough.
I'll be honest.
do you own Pelicans gear?
No, I
I'm
don't.
just a Dyson guy.
I respect
Dyson, man. Shout out to him.
Yeah, he follows us on TikTok. Shout out
Just
to
a
him.
Dyson
bro.
Daniels guy.
But yeah.
that. Shout out to the Clovers, Celtics.
Right now, how many views we have? We have 605,
We was
606
at like
viewers.
640, like 20.
Let's get to
minutes ago.
200 likes. We're getting close to. We're at
Let's get this.
188.
Why, if it's 600 people in here, why is it 600 likes?
I would love to know.
Because, bro, they need to make sure that what they're watching is sound. You got to respect them, man.
They know what they watch.
Some people are a little indecisive. They're going to be like, do I actually like this?
Do you like videos on YouTube when you watch?
Yes.
I almost never do.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
since starting doing the podcast,
You
I
show love.
decided
I don't
to be a
watch
little bit more.
many YouTube videos though. To be
Where? Really?
just no.
Not for you,
Tonight, the Celtics face the Golden State Warriors at Golden State.
sir.
And Boom Fantasy has some toss-ups that Joel is going to go over. He's going to read. And we're going to give our picks to see if we like these toss-ups or not.
You want me to go through all of them? I mean, there's probably like 30.
Not all of them, just the
Okay.
most important ones.
Yeah, we'll go over like the big guys. So for Tatum, 29.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, 3.5 3-pointers, 42.5 points, rebounds, assists. Do any of those stand out to you guys?
42.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
I like that one because
I do like
Wiggins
that
is
one a
not
lot.
playing tonight.
Yeah. So
I can see
29.5
Tatum,
points.
yeah.
What
I
do you
can see
think
Tatum
of that?
getting 40.
Yeah. So
His
29, 29.5 a little low.
His pops is
You
not
don't think
playing
if Anthony
tonight.
Lamb's guarding him, he can stop him?
He might not play. Because,
He's got issues.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
he's got
yeah,
issues.
he's got some issues. That's crazy. That's insane.
No, I was like, damn, like.
Oh,
I'm hurt.
okay.
Like,
Oh, my bad.
Another guy down.
Sorry,
Yeah.
misinterpreted.
The Wiggins ones really hurts me
I
mentally.
mean, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
but-
your
So
goat.
you like
That's
the
my
points,
goal,
rebounds, assists,
indeed.
42.5. Rev,
I do like
you
that.
like the
I
points,
love it.
29
I think,
and a half.
yo, Tatum might have 50 and 5.
He's I can't say. I work for
50,
Boom.
50, and 5.
No trolling, bro.
All right, well, let's go over Jaylen Brown, then we'll get some Warriors too. So for Jaylen Brown, 26.5 points, 7 rebounds flat, 3.5 assists, 37.5 points, rebounds,
I like his points. I'll take his over.
26.5.
I think both. I think the
Jays,
Jays get 30 tonight.
They got some.
They definitely need to because there's a banner up there
What's
that they
it,
thought
12
they had.
times this year that they've scored 25 each?
They have the most.
That is insane.
I'm going with Tatum, though, the 42.5 points,
Yeah.
rebounds, and assists.
Is there any
for
on
sure.
these JBs that you would add on?
Read them again.
So, and by the way, if you guys want to play along, it is pinned in the comment section. Go ahead, download it, deposit $10 or more. You'll be helping out the show a ton. So for Jaylen Brown, 26.5 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 37.5 points, rebounds, assists. If you don't know, we're basically picking a side over or under. If you get 3, for example, right, you 6 times your money. Up to 5 times, you 20 times your money. So we're putting together a slip here.
I like the assists.
Like the assists?
I do.
3, was it 3.5?
I like Tatum 42.5 for points, rebounds,
I love
and
the
assists.
assist, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like the total. I want the total.
JB 26.5
42.5.
is intriguing.
37.5.
He averages
That's
3.6 assists per
No,
game.
that's JB. Tatum's 42.5.
Brown can get over.
I don't know. The JB one's tricky now. He could have a 5 assist game. He could have a 2 assist game, or a 3-1.
Or 1.
You know what? I'm not gonna take any on JB.
Not on JB.
I'm not.
Okay, let's move over. Let's see what Curry's got. So Steph Curry, 29.5 points. I think there's also a matchup. There is a matchup between Tatum and Curry points. If you guys also, we could do that too. Who's going to score more points? So Curry, 29.5 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 41.5 points, rebounds, assists.
I like the 41.5.
Yeah, I might take the Tatum and Curry.
He's been a
assists.
demon rebounding the basketball this season so
He's
far.
been a demon forever.
High key.
really
High key.
You know what I'm taking.
Everything
Points.
over.
Everything over.
Everything over.
Everything
So we
Who
have
scores
Tatum.
more points tonight? Tatum, Curry.
It'll be Tatum because
You guys revenge on his
his
mind.
dad isn't playing. Unfortunately, Curry, the defense, it's gonna be
Dad
tough.
is
So we have the Tatum and
It's
Curry
okay, bro.
points, rebounds, and assists. And now let's try to get one more.
Who you want to hear? What play we got?
What's
Smart,
we got
Brogdon.
Grant Williams 3's up there?
Grant Williams is not up, but he'll probably be up later.
Nah, he
today.
not.
What about
It's
Marcus
okay.
Smart?
Marcus Smart. We just got a donation. Marcus Smart, 11.5 points, 7 assists, 22.5 points, rebounds, assists.
He's been
Also have
dominant.
1.5
11 and a half
blocks and
points.
steals.
I like that.
I like the 7 assists.
He's been dominant. I'll take the
Yeah.
points. I like the over.
11.5 is not that bad.
Also 1.5 steals plus blocks. If that moves you guys either.
Plus steals and blocks?
Yeah, so combined.
I would,
Does he have?
I would probably take that.
You said what, 1.5?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
That's a good one.
that is a good one.
Tyler Wallace just donated to us and asked, "Can I get Riv to say Embiid's greater than AD?"
Why me?
I don't know. I think it's because on our
You're the AD
Instagram
guy?
post you said that when AD was healthy, he's always cleared Embiid.
Yeah.
Because that's facts. I mean, you
stand
didn't
on
lie.
that. I stand on that. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with
Tyler,
you.
I'm sorry. I can't.
All right, so I am gonna take the Curry and Tatum points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
And the last one I might take is, I don't know, man. Marcus Smart is a tricky player, bro.
He might have
Let me take
4.
a gander at these.
Yeah,
He's so funny to me, bro. He's just a funny basketball
I don't know.
player. He
I
started
might
doing
take the
that
Jordan
flopping
Poole points
shit.
though.
Jordan Poole.
He's starting tonight.
Or do we take the
Oh,
risky?
Poole is starting tonight.
What's Poole's lines?
Nah, cracking
You
the
know, I'm
fuck
terrible. Here we go. 22.5 points.
For Jordan Poole.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is starting tonight. This is
His
starting
splits,
Pool.
his splits starting bench.
This actually makes me fucking
So now I'm going
mad.
Jordan Poole. over.
4 assists.
I've never seen a player who split starting and off the benches.
I feel like Jordan Poole always kills us. Too.
I'm going
Maybe
Jordan.
it's just
I'm going Jordan
PTSD,
Poole
I don't
over
know.
points.
He just has
I am.
highlight
All right,
plays.
so
Yeah, he
is
just
that
always
our
does some
slip?
flashy
Tatum
shit.
42.5. Curry, what was it? 42,
30.
41.5.
Tatum was
Yeah, yeah.
37.
Just take
No,
the
no, JB was
Tatum
37.
and Curry points, rebounds, and assists on toss-ups.
Yep.
And the last one, are we all agreeing on the Jordan Poole?
I'm with that.
Yeah, if he's starting. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right,
it's,
so that's our
Take,
three.
take pool party.
so it's Tatum 42.5.
Yeah.
It's Steph Curry 41.5. And these are points,
light.
rebounds, and assists. That is light. That is light.
For the goal, that's light.
And then we have Jordan Poole 22.5.
I
So
think that's
for
a good
for
one.
3 picks, 6 times your money, put $20 in, 120 out.
And I
Not
think
too
we
bad.
have the QR code up on the screen right now, John. If you could put that up for
So
Boom
it's up there.
Fantasy.
Shout out to
If you're
John.
watching on your computer, you can click the QR code on your phone.
It's available
camera.
iPhone and Android. Available in about half the states across the U.S. I want to say like 23 or so. So yeah, go
They're
ahead.
available in Maine now.
Maine, yep.
Yeah, so shout out to the Maine viewers.
Man,
They're definitely available in California, Texas, and
Yep.
Florida.
We need
So if you guys live in the big states, then they're
Georgia.
definitely available there. Chicago, Illinois.
Illinois.
Chicago.
Bunch of states.
Oh,
Yeah,
not
no,
a city.
Illinois is
yeah. I thought you wasn't gonna say Illinois.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
that's a city.
This week in the NBA.
My This Week in the NBA, we did have a show prior that I should have probably mentioned this on, but you know what? It deserves love regardless. LeBron James passes Magic Johnson on the all-time assists leading board, whatever it's called. Right now, LeBron James has 10,160 assists, just past Magic Johnson, who he passed by a decent margin now, but Magic was at 10,141. Keep adding to the resume, King James. Keep adding, because eventually, at season's end, when he's the leading scoring guy, and he's the crowned king of the best scorer in the history of the game.
Think so?
Most points.
You think Kareem was crowned that? Be honest.
No.
All right.
But it's just gonna add to the legacy of LeBron James and solidify. Cool. For sure. Bless you. I want to see him get top 5. I think it's definitely.
Who sneezed?
I thought you sneezed, dude.
No.
Sorry, man. It's definitely possible that LeBron can get to 4, because Steve Nash is at 10,335. Mm-hmm. To get to 3 would be tough. It's 11,082. That's Chris Paul. I don't know if he'll pass Chris Paul.
That one's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Maybe he should play one or 2 more seasons.
But you'll take it. As long as LeBron finishes top 5, which he definitely will, man, what a resume.
So before you go, Riv or Joel, AJ Olander just said, live in Florida, can't bet on sports. But you can play Boom Fantasy in Florida. They allow it. So that's how you can bet on sports.
As long as you're 18, go ahead, download it. Deposit 10 or more.
This week in the NBA is just shouting out a team. Shout out to the Indiana Pacers. Shout out to Andrew Nemhard. He gave us 30.
And he was tweaking. Delton, we
just
are
let
live.
Him take his dubs, man.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if it was a draft sleeper. Shout out to Andrew Nemhard. Shout out to the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton has walked himself into all-star point guard status. He's been playing amazing offensively, Offensively, he's just putting the team on his back. Miles Turner has been really good. Buddy Hield has been shooting the lights out. Benedict Mathurin off the bench has been a dog. Isaiah Jackson defensively, Jalen Smith, they've been good off the bench too. This team, Indiana, good young squad. Even if they don't make the playoffs, I think what they're doing right now is incredible. The way they're competing every night, the tenacity on both ends. Future is extremely bright.
Year early.
A year late. What would it be late?
Year early.
Wrong group. It's just the wrong group.
And the Kings, man.
Wrong group.
It hurts.
You was with the old heads.
Oh, dude, bro.
But shout out to the Pacers. I want to give them some, because even though they might not finish top 5 or top 6, who cares? They've been playing ball at a great level.
No, you got to acknowledge great basketball when you see it.
And they're all young. They got a little duo. As soon as Mathurin starts.
This week in the NBA, the Orlando Magic, this duo of Franz and Paulo have been fantastic all season. And last night, Franz had 34 points, 12 of 15 shooting, 5 boards. Paulo 23 on 8 of 11 shooting, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, beat the Raptors. I mean, both these guys, 20, 21 years old. When it comes to duos that you want to build a team around, if you young guys, I mean, I don't know another duo you'd really want. Obviously, you have the Jays in there, but we're talking real young guys, no year 1, 2 players in the league.
These
two,
young, bro.
They're 24, 25.
I know, but they've been here.
They've been forever, but they're 24, 25. You know, like
heads to me, bro.
25, 26, some shit. But
so
regardless, this duo in Orlando, they're not winning yet, right? They definitely need pieces, but I mean, the future is so bright, and they have a really fun team.
No, I'm looking through our texts. Our texts are where we have most of our draft takes. Remember, I sent you those Mathurin texts. Remember that the other night?
You were looking for the Nemhard, though.
No, I did. So the only thing that we talked about with Nemhard was we talked about Kennedy Chandler or him, and you said you like Andrew's size, and I said I agree. He has fantastic size.
I'm like, why are you guys talking about my size?
And then there was another text that we sent each other, and I was asking for your point guard list, and you sent me your point guard list. Number 1, you had Dyson Daniels. Number 2 was Ty. Then it was Scottie Pippen Jr. Then it was Nemhard, and Gillespie and Chandler. And then I asked you you're low on Kennedy Chandler. You said, and because you had Gillespie over him. Yeah. But yeah, we talked about the draft. I don't know where I talked about Nemhard, but we definitely talked about Nemhard.
I tweeted about him.
I know you put him number 1 or something on your list, right? Your point guard list outside of Dyson.
Oh yeah, I probably
2. I think it was 2.
Yeah, I definitely argued about it. Remember when Pee Wee was laughing to me about Christian Braun? Silly rabbit.
It's Brown.
Oh, sorry, Brown.
Christian Brown. I thought it was Braun too.
It would spell that way. Brown is BROWN. It's the color.
Someone said I feel like half the time Joel is talking about the size of dudes.
Yo, that's actually hilarious.
This week in the NBA for me, we're not going to have a Knicks topic on this show.
I wonder why.
So I want to just address something with the Knicks.
We watched the Julius Randle masterclass on playback.
Facts. They've been.
I'll say this about the Knicks.
What do you say? Fuck off.
If the Knicks trade for a washed-up star like Zach LaVine,
Hey, washed up is strong.
I will be miserable.
Banged up.
Why?
Because
He's been playing well recently.
Zach LaVine has a bad contract.
Is it just Zach
He
LaVine?
has bad knees.
He does not have a bad contract.
Yes, he does. He's on Supermax.
No,
He's on a max.
no,
What's wrong
it's
with
really
you?
not that bad.
He's on a max. That's horrible.
I think it's
like
like
$32 million.
I was gonna say it's not that bad.
You said
Check it.
supermax.
I got you.
Why?
I got you.
He's
I
not
got
even
you.
supermax eligible. He's not getting 40 mil.
No, because he stayed with the team for a
no,
while.
but for you get a supermax, you also got to make certain requirements.
Drew's getting the contract shortly, but I don't want Zach LaVine. I'd rather the Knicks be a lottery team or miss the playoffs and the play-in, so we can get a top pick. I think it's simple as that.
Riv, he's getting chicken.
How much is he getting?
He's getting 37 this year. Next year, 40. The year after that, 43. Year after that, 45. Year after that, 48.
Yeah.
It's hefty.
That's not a
a bag. He got a 5-year, 215.
Scary because the supermax would have been like 280.
Yeah.
Please respect my
215 is crazy.
contractual knowledge.
I didn't think it was that bad either, bro.
Yeah, it's a horrible contract.
Damn.
No,
it's
it's not a horrible
horrible. It's
contract.
Levine. Respect.
LaVine does not deserve that
My
shit, bro.
God, bro. Levine.
He has no playoff success. I'm not giving
Hey.
that to a player, bro.
Really?
That's Zach LaVine's
That's how
caliber.
you're gonna come?
Zach LaVine's not going to be nothing, bro. We know that.
What do you mean not going to be nothing? In
He's
the
not
past,
gonna-
he was a
he's
50,
not
40,
ma-
85 guy. Respect
He's
him.
not making the playoffs with the Bulls this year. They're not making the playoffs.
Is that on him or is it the Bulls are not
Yes,
great?
he started off like shit. It
He
is
was
on
bad
him.
and he was hurt.
It started. It
And
started
now
off
he's
with him.
getting healthy.
What happened in the
and he's been
playoffs?
playing
In the
very
playoffs,
well.
he was garbage.
He was also hurt.
He was garbage in the playoffs.
He was also hurt. Why are we being critical of players when they're hurt when we know what they are when they're healthy?
When he's healthy, what is he? He's never led a team to the
He's a
playoffs.
50, 40, 85 guy.
Okay, but he's never
He's
been
a savage.
to the playoffs.
Okay, is that his doing?
So if I'm the Knicks, I'm trading a bunch of picks and young players for Zach LaVine. Why
not?
What does Zach LaVine make the Knicks, bro?
You guys are already what, a top 6, top 7 seed right now?
No, we're in the play-in right now. We're the 8th seed.
I thought you said that they were
They are a game out of the 5 seed.
a game out of the 5th
Yeah,
seed.
game out of the 5 seed.
I mean, with Levine, why can't you guys be a top 6 seed?
You just want to see the Knicks crumble, do you?
Why?
You want us to trade for a guy like Zach LaVine and have no
But
flexibility.
who would you
in the
give
future?
up? RJ, who you already don't want anything to do with. You give up what, 3, 4 first-round picks?
It just puts us more in the middle than we already
But
are.
you
I hear what he's saying, though.
No, I don't agree with that though.
Because then they just become more of a, they're not going to be good enough to get a top pick. They're not going to be, you know what I mean? Like,
But
they're going to be a
Levine
first
makes you
round
better.
exit.
The whole point's to get better,
won't they
to
still be
make
a
people
first-round
more
exit?
attracted to
Are we
wanna
not a
come play
first-round
for them.
exit with LaVine?
I mean, you're a first-round exit without Levine.
So-
We're not
but
a playoff team without LaVine.
I know what he's saying.
You're barely a playoff team without him.
Yeah, I know.
But I wouldn't want to
I
trade for
wanna
Levine.
just
No,
be
I
bad.
I
I
understand
wouldn't
not
want to
getting
trade for
him.
Levine.
I understand
Why
not getting
would
him.
no team should realistically be wanting to go and get LaVine?
I don't know if no team,
There
but
may
not
be
the
a
Knicks.
couple.
Like, you don't want to trade for
Like,
Levine
I
to be your
think-
number one guy.
I think
That's
the
an
Mavericks
issue.
going out and getting LaVine, given his injury history, would be a mistake, and his contract would be a mistake.
Yeah, the getting 40 a year basically average
I
is,
The
is
fit
tough.
with Luka is
Even
nice,
more, honestly.
but the injury concern, the contract, I'm staying away from Zach LaVine.
How old is he? 28?
7.
7?
There's two great shooting guards in the NBA that I'm staying away from. That's Bradley Beal and that's Zach LaVine. They could go lose where they at right now.
For the Knicks, I understand, but I think they could fit on other teams. Like the Mavericks wouldn't be the worst case.
Levine
in the
dropped
world, it's just the
41 on your
contract.
Kings.
He's been good
They
the last
lost.
5-6 games. He's been good the
But
last 5-6
that's
games.
not
But yes,
on
but you
him.
can't hold that on Zach LaVine, bro. You can't hold the L on LaVine.
Bro,
Drop
yes,
every
Really,
Zach-
I really
especially.
argue with him.
Zach LaVine has
No,
been
I
playing
know.
better as of recently, but the argument right now is
He just
why
had-
would the Knicks
the
trade
Knicks,
for
yes,
him?
No,
That
I
makes sense.
agree.
I got you.
But
That makes
he's talking
sense.
about the man was playing like shit at the beginning. He just had knee surgery.
I know.
And, like,
It's being
stop
critical.
entertaining that shit, man.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
You
You're
don't
right.
even want LaVine anymore, bro.
What?
You'd
Bring him
rather
over to
trade him and
LA.
rebuild. Is that not a fact?
Yeah, but I still think he can contribute on the team. You act like he's just dog water.
I never
shit.
said he couldn't contribute on the team.
You making it seem like a team, like he can't just help a playoff team. That's crazy.
No, I said why is it worth it?
No, for the Knicks, no, but you're not getting
Who
anybody.
else is it worth it for?
Dallas, I think, should do it. I would have to think, honestly.
Dallas would be hot.
I don't like you're saying like we shouldn't. If we trade for LaVine, I would be mad. But realistically, you're not getting anybody, so it doesn't matter.
The Knicks?
Yeah, you're not getting anybody.
Any star player?
No.
Yeah, I don't want us to go out and force a move.
Yeah, but what do you like? You don't force a move, but you're not really developing any young players either. So what are you doing right now?
Yeah, we're stuck in mud.
Limbo.
Yeah, I know. And I want us to not be stuck in mud and just go into a
Yeah, and
rebuild
go get Levine.
and get top talent. No,
No, I don't-
LaVine puts us in the middle.
Nah, I wouldn't want to trade.
Puts-
for
that's
LaVine.
like being in quicksand for a minute in Levine. Now you're gonna drown in like 10 seconds.
I wouldn't
Even
want
worse.
Oh yeah.
Not with that
I don't want that.
contract.
But my bureau this week in the NBA though was Paolo Banchero, has 15 games this season with 20 points. The last 2 players to do that in 15 of the first 20 games were Zion Williamson as a rookie and Michael Jordan as a rookie.
Not bad.
And Franz Wagner versus Scotty Barnes. Yes, he clears Mr. Scotty Barnes.
Group
Franz had 32 points.
Group L.
This year, he's averaging 20. And it's crazy to think about this, but the Magic have the best young forward duo in the NBA with Paolo and Franz Wagner. Paolo's going to be the best player in his class. Franz Wagner, there's a legit debate whether he can be the best player in his as well. He's that good. I like Evan Mobley's potential.
Jalen Green,
Cade Cunningham. I love Jalen Green too. But as of right now, there is a legit argument for Franz being the best, if not the second best player in the class. And for the Magic to hit consecutively on those picks has really turned their team around. I know they're not winning now, but they will eventually.
If Suggs can figure it out, man, that team really is intriguing. Very intriguing. Because you're going to expect them to have a top pick this year again.
Yep.
Let's say they luck into Victor. This team immediately
they get scooped. Bye-bye.
Gets put on the Raiders. Yeah, facts. That's another one. So who's saying Suggs? See ya?
Well, Suggs can play the 2. One of them dudes got to go.
No, or if they get Amen Thompson.
That's another one.
That's the guy I told you about.
They didn't. I'm sick of wings. Nah, go get a real fucking guard, bro. I'm tired of picking these. They trying to be like Toronto. It's just aggravating. You don't even know what team Amen plays for.
Overtime elite.
Can't believe
Is that a prep school?
Hmm?
Is that a prep school?
No, it's an overtime league. It's a league that overtime started.
Oh, okay.
Come on, look at this guy. Like, I don't know my players, man.
You don't.
I'll be scouting, bro.
You don't. You don't scout right now.
You don't know who Nick Smith Jr. is.
Bro, he's in Arkansas, bro.
I told you about Anthony Black.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You just kept
Yeah,
saying
you guys
Anthony.
talk about Anthony Black every show.
You just keep saying Anthony Black. You didn't tell me about
I
Anthony
told
Black.
you about him, though.
You don't even scout until, like, May.
And when I told you about Anthony Black, you're like, oh, whatever. And you see he been turning up lately.
I literally just tweeted he's a top 10 pick.
He's nice, bro.
You watched his highlights.
No, I watch his games.
He's
nice, bro.
You didn't watch it. What game you watched?
The Creighton one.
Oh, my God. Yo.
He knows he played amazing in that game.
No, he did. That's the one game you watched.
And I watched the whole Invitational.
Okay.
You know, I have actually, it's fun. We'll move on to the next topic, and I'll get some things out in a bit. But the Chris Paul regression, I think we need to talk about that. The Phoenix Suns right now, you know, they're playing well. They're 16-10. They're the 3rd seed. But I don't know if it's just you guys, but I feel like the Phoenix Suns have become the most hated team in the NBA.
You should be asking him.
Why?
You're the face of it.
What?
The most hated team in the NBA.
Oh, the
Phoenix
Frogs?
Suns. Yes,
The Frogs
exactly.
and Sun Devils?
Yes.
Phoenix?
Didn't you tweet you hope they get in the playoffs just so the Warriors could smoke them every game or some shit?
No,
like that?
I actually, because I saw the Alvarado video, and I was like, okay, well, now I want the Pelicans and the Suns to play, so the Pelicans could beat the shit out of them.
He has like
I
notes
started
for
my
Anthony
scouting
Black.
early this year.
He started on Anthony Black?
Anthony
games
Black was
watched.
the first
Hilarious.
name he showed me. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
The players I have right now were just Anthony Black, Cason Wallace, and Nick Smith Jr.
Hilarious.
I haven't
You
started
got 2 guys from the same team.
I haven't started the high level ones yet.
Those
but-
are the high-level ones.
I'm talking about, Scoot and Victor and stuff.
Nick Smith is a top 5 pick.
I know he is.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You just
bro.
tried to say I didn't start the high-level
Well,
one.
you know what I'm talking about. Like the Thompson twins, the name brand guys.
What's the name has Nick Smith over Amen?
Yeah, I know. I haven't really watched them too much, but I watched the Louisville, Creighton, and the.
Well, yeah, Nick Smith just got back, so.
Yeah, he's been hurt. That's why I didn't start taking my notes on him yet. But you don't think the Phoenix Suns are the most hated team in the NBA?
I think they are. Undoubtedly. I actually
Most
think it's
hated?
not. It's.
I think they are.
I think like in terms of like
Fans hate them or
no
like
fans collectively.
Yeah,
every
you
fan
think
base.
the Lakers are?
No, I think you guys are hated by certain, but I think Lakers fans, Warriors, Bulls fans, Knicks fans, Celtics fans, we come to collectively hate the Suns. Like it's like a group, because they're so fucking cocky, and they think they walk around like they've won shit. They do the weird shit after games, go work out and do
Celtics
push-ups,
do that.
and then record it. Like it's just their whole demeanor and swag and
can't
aura
talk
is-
shit on
I
it.
can't. Celtics do it all the time.
But y'all went to the finals, and then
So
y'all,
did they.
but y'all have 17 championships. I got it.
but none of the guys on the
but
team
you gotta
do.
put the homage to that. These, but y'all don't. Yeah, even then, y'all don't walk around flaunting all day and shit. Like
That's true.
they're so cocky, and I think like there's so much hated. And then Chris Paul, people don't like him anyways, so people hate him.
Because he does a lot of dirty stuff.
He's an asshole. It's
Yeah.
just realistically.
I remember the story when they were facing the Warriors in the conference finals, the Rockets and the Warriors, and Curry wanted to shoot around, and Chris Paul didn't let him shoot around.
Yeah, he was, and then Jay Crowder always gets into fake fights with everybody before.
He's not even on the team.
You know what I'm saying? Like last year and shit, like he always gets into fake fights. And then Devin Booker, he's always talking. He's cocky. So it's like.
Book could talk, though. He's nice.
Yeah, respectful.
Klay Thompson got mad at him.
See, but Book actually can be cordial and still, we can have disagreement, but off the court, it's still love. But it's a friendly it's competition regardless, and that's what you can respect and appreciate about Book. To talk about the Suns and being the most hated, I think you still have to say the Lakers are in that conversation. You have to have the conversation of the Nets being in that conversation. But I think this year, people aren't hating the Nets as much because now it's all right, we're not as good as what people thought we were. Let's work to get back to that. And they've been playing excellent basketball recently. And someone who is not the biggest Nets supporter by any means, I can still say that I have enjoyed watching Kevin Durant and what he's been able to do over in Brooklyn. To talk about CP3 real quick, he had a good game last night against the Pelicans, but let's be honest, it's not moving me much. I'm on your time, Riv. He is done. He's done. CP3's done, man.
Interesting.
R.I.P.
I don't think Chris Paul is done. I think he got off to a rough start to begin the season.
You need someone else?
No, I needed him to stand on that.
In the Pelicans, versus the Pelicans, he had 24 efficiently. I think Chris Paul's going to get back to what he does. He'll be an efficient mid-range scorer. The problem with Chris Paul and the main problem with the Suns is that they don't have a true offensive creator scorer outside of Devin Booker. Chris Paul, when he's facing bigger, tougher, faster defensive guards, he tends to struggle. He does most of his damage off of teams that have a center that plays drop coverage, where he can get to a spot on the elbow and hit a mid-range shot. But it's hard for him when he has to get past guys.
Oh, he struggles against big guards?
Faster ones and bigger ones, I would say, right now at this point in his career. But Chris Paul has never been an elite level scorer. He's always a great one, but he's not somebody, at least to this point in his career, the last 2 seasons.
When you needed him to turn it on,
he's been an elite offensive player.
Correct.
Yeah. But when you need a real bucket, just a bucket getter, Chris Paul, you need another guy next to Devin Booker. You do. I don't think Chris Paul is that guy. And then DeAndre Ayton is still as mid as ever. He's honestly a guy that is never going to be an all-star. He was the number 1 overall pick. I mean, come on, man. DeAndre Ayton he's just who he is. That's what he is.
Can we
Mikal Bridges,
how different things are.
Talk about their wings, please.
Mikal Bridges is an elite defender, but he's a cutter.
They have the most
spot-up shooter.
Unserious wings in the NBA, bro. Like Torrey Craig.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson's cool. He's a cool guy, but it's like, do you walk into those games like, I'm scared of Bridges, I'm scared of Cam Johnson?
I don't think people like playing Bridges.
I mean, like, offensively.
Oh, yeah. Oh, correct.
Yeah, it's like.
But that's the main problem with the Suns. And the Suns, to me, are a team that would benefit tremendously if they could trade for a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic. I'm going to name him again in this show when we talk about the Nets later. But the Suns, I just don't view as a serious playoff team. I think they're a regular season team. They have a great system. It's going to lead to wins, but I don't trust them come playoff time. I really don't.
So are you knocking them off your contender list?
Yes.
For the Suns, so this is one team that's off the market for them?
And they're the 2 seed right now.
Yeah, I don't see it with the Suns. And also, the Zion dunk at the end and how they reacted, I thought was just bullshit. Because the Phoenix Suns are a team that has done this before. Game 5 versus the Pelicans. They scored when the game was over. They just had to run out the clock. Chris Paul goes in transition and passes it to a teammate for a layup. And then the next series versus Dallas, they're up 108-80 with 6 seconds left. And Cameron Payne tries to throw a lob to Bismack Biyombo. Cam Payne is the same guy that says, oh, we're all about sportsmanship. That's bullshit because they did it to the Mavericks in the playoffs. So for me, I feel like this is a bit of a payback for the Suns. And people hate them because they are cocky. And they're a team that hasn't accomplished anything. They've went from a great story regular season team to now becoming hated because they complain about everything. The Suns complain about everything, it feels like.
I definitely hate the Warriors most out of anyone. I know we hadn't throw that name out there, but they're definitely my most. There's respect. I don't have a hate. I really don't have a hate for the Suns. I understand why people think they're cocky, and maybe that's just because they have given us some trouble. But just beating them by like 40 a couple of days ago, I don't really have that same feeling. Best team in the West, by the way. But I think what this really shows is that
who's the best team in the West? You said
he was like
I said they were the 1 seed going into that game.
Yeah, he was implying best team in the West. They beat the shit out of the best team. In the West.
But I think what this shows is
ring. Sorry.
Yeah, congrats. It's December.
I'm
We're
sorry.
getting to the Celtics later. Don't
Did I
worry.
give you PTSD?
Ring.
Yeah.
No, why?
My phone was buzzing. That's why.
I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Oh.
But anyway,
I'm sure you understand why he's doing this.
No, I'd
The
like
Warriors
ring.
won the championship.
But I don't get the phone reference.
Oh, because he's just trying to be
I'm
nonchalant.
just trying to knock you off your game, bro.
Okay, you're doing a good job. But when we talk about the Suns being a regular season team, it's because of the lack of that second star, right? That's why it's very similar how I view the Mavericks with Luka, and I do think the Suns even might have a more complete team, even though you got some good shooters there in Dallas. When you just have one guy, and Luka obviously more ball dominant and a better offensive player than Devin Booker, but when you just have one guy, you have to consistently rely on night in and night out to give you 35 plus to be in these playoff series. It is really hard to be a legitimate contender, regardless of how good that player is, because Luka, we see him having that conversation. He's one of the best in the league, and he hasn't been able to get over that hump, although they did just make the Western Conference Finals. So when we talk about Chris Paul and his regression, we talked about it a little bit on last episode where he was out, right? He missed however many games, 10 games or so, and they were still winning, right? Obviously being the 1 seed when he returned, and he comes back. I think they're 1-1 maybe since his return. They won and lost against Boston, obviously. But if he's going to be your number 2, and you can make the argument like Ayton's going to provide more offense, and a bunch of guys are, if he's going to be your number 2, it really isn't disrespectful. And Suns fans give us shit all the time for, shitting on them. We obviously have a couple friends who are Suns fans who definitely give us shit for it. But it's just true, because when you're going to have Chris Paul playing this level and rely on Devin Booker, you'll be a great regular season team, like we said. But we can't put you in that consideration of being able to beat playoff series against the Grizzlies and the Nuggets and all these teams above you, or even below you right now.
When you look at the West, this is a wing league. So I think I really wish Mikal Bridges would have got better, worked on his offensive game. I feel like if he would have worked on his offensive game, shit would look a lot different. Somebody else who can create opportunities for others, create opportunities for himself. Same thing with DeAndre Ayton. If he was able to be a little bit that all-star, then the Chris Paul aging thing wouldn't be a factor. But because they got these young players and they haven't grown to the players that they need, the players that they hoped could be, Chris Paul now has to still play that role. And it's the same thing how we used to talk about with LeBron and AD. AD's getting set up to be the guy to take over. He's finally done it, but it could possibly be too late because LeBron is now keep getting banged up. Now for the Suns, it's like Chris Paul is old. His you know what I'm saying? He's been in the league for a long time. You should only need him for the playoffs. Right now, he shouldn't be playing regular season games, having to score 22, all this shit like that.
He just missed like 10.
So they've been winning without Chris Paul, though.
Yeah, that's fine. But in the playoffs now, it's like the game plan.
Chris Paul is not going to walk into the playoffs and be able to give you that consistently.
He shouldn't be. But
they need him to.
A playoff game is a little easier than 82.
When the Suns drafted Cam Johnson, everybody knew what he was coming out of college. Oh yeah. When they traded for Mikal Bridges on draft night, Mikal, we knew what he was going to be coming out of college. I think he's been that to this point. If this was 2018 Chris Paul, I think the Suns are a finals team. It's as simple as that.
I was going to say, Riv, I agree.
But it's not 2018.
I agree.
I don't know why you brought this.
No, I'm just saying, like, this team with the secondary playmaker, I know what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But Chris Paul, you can't rely on him. If I knew that I could rely on Chris Paul, then I'd feel confident in this team, but I can't rely on Chris Paul. And also, I think whenever I talk about the Suns, I always mention this because it just pisses me off how much they didn't do this. But on draft night, when they had the chance to draft Tyrese Halliburton and make him the point guard of the future behind Chris Paul, they should have did it. Instead, they drafted Jalen Smith, and they ended up trading him for Torrey Craig to Indiana. But imagine if Tyrese is on this team with Devin Booker right now. We're talking about the Suns completely different.
I agree and disagree with what you said. I only disagree with what you said with the fact of if these younger guys were to develop better, it'd be easier on Chris Paul. I mean, yes, to a degree, that's 100% sound. But the difference with that is Chris Paul is an all-time player.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you mentioned the AD and LeBron thing. That's more different. If you would have said CP3 and Booker, then yes, that makes more sense because it's a torch passing. CP3 was the better player, but now he passed the torch to Booker, who's obviously the better of the two. Yeah. Similarly with LeBron and AD, LeBron's been the better player, but there was a time where the torch did need to be passed. We're starting to see it a little bit this season. But for the Suns' case, Mikal, Cam Johnson, these guys they're simply not Chris Paul, or they can't make up to what Chris Paul was. So it's hard to lose what Chris Paul once was to the Suns to see it not be what it had been in the past, or not last season, the year before that. It's difficult because Chris Paul, when he's on, is one of the best basketball players we've ever seen, of course. But you have to understand, he is old, and there's not a guy that's replacing Chris Paul on this roster because he's Chris Paul, and that's a respect to him.
It's time to talk about the Brooklyn Nets. I've been waiting on this, on this portion of the show. Now, when talking about the Nets, we always got to mention this other team alongside them.
Excuse me. We don't have to.
The Boston Celtics.
Why do we have to?
This is a you thing. Good luck.
I don't know why.
Because the Celtics are the team that made the finals.
Like I was right in the offseason.
The Nets want to make the finals, and that's who they're going to have to beat. At the end of the day, when it comes to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and the Nets, it's championship or bust every single year. So, we could talk. I know I'm going to talk about the Nets being so great as of recently, but I want to ask the question around you guys around here first. If there's any chance with the way they're playing, adding Ben Simmons to the mix, if they can give Boston some trouble in the playoff series.
I'm gonna be biased, so I don't even want to.
What do you mean biased?
I don't know.
Sometimes
Sometimes
nothing to be biased
according to Joel, apparently I have a very narrow
This does
view.
not change.
So that's
fact
the question,
that-
really? Is do they stand a chance against the Celtics in a playoff series?
they'll make it a 6-game series. Boston still wins.
That's it.
They do make it a chance. And listen,
Because Kevin
here.
Durant's on the team. That's the respect. And Kyrie Irving also.
You always give them respect.
They have a solid defensive
have a puncher's
lineup.
chance,
You
but-
want to sweep them this year?
No, I don't think you sweep them.
No.
I definitely think
barely
Boston still
swept them
wins.
last year.
It's not a
How
sweep.
do you barely sweep somebody?
You did.
Every
It was a
game
barely
was
sweep.
close.
It was
Swept them. A barely sweep now,
Barely
though.
swept them.
Barely swept is
This is
crazy.
what we're doing now.
Barely
Bro,
swept
game one,
is hilarious.
game one.
All right, let me just say, listen.
L?
Listen,
Like, what the fuck are
you
we
swept
talking
them,
about?
but
Yeah,
it was
it's
close
sweep.
games every
We're not
single
doing
time.
that. It's a sweep.
Every game was close.
It could have went either
sweep.
way.
It's a
Outside
sweep.
of like game 3.
Your word choice was strong.
You can't
It's a
say
sweep,
barely.
bro.
swept.
You're
If you
kinda
say every
right.
game
You know
was
what I
tight,
meant, though.
okay,
You know
fine.
what
If
I
every
meant.
game was
I did know what you
close,
meant.
that's valid.
I
But
did
you're
know
not
what you
saying
meant.
you
You know what I
barely
meant,
swept
though.
them.
We're arguing the
We're not doing a barely swept.
I feel more comfortable in the Nets getting swept. Like, the Nets got swept, sure, but those games were
They're the only team
closer
that didn't win a game.
than any of the games the
You
Bulls
got to
and the
get
Bucks
one.
played.
You got to get one.
Even
get
though the
one.
Bulls won one game, like,
Get
I got
one.
more dominated in that series.
The Celtics won the year before.
Whether we got more dominator or not, our star player was able to get us one.
Come on.
So
Listen
it doesn't
here.
matter. And
So,
he had
come on,
40.
I want to
And
hear the
listen
argument.
here.
I'm sure
and
you
he
got something
exposed
to
Giannis
bring
at the
up.
end of the game.
Listen here, Dehls.
Katie cannot relate.
The Nets are 15-12. They're the 4th seed currently in the Eastern Conference. And I was out on the Steve Nash Nets. I came on the show and I said, listen, it's time for them to blow it up. It's just Kyrie Irving, the anti-Semitism
Here we
stuff.
go. New take.
Ime Udoka getting hired for a second there. And I'm like, wow, now this team has so much drama around it. The Jacques Vaughn Nets, I'm going to tell you what, mister. I'm negotiating a price right now with how much I'm buying into them because I like this. And right now, I'm kind of looking at the price, seeing if it matches my projections. But one thing we're going to do on this segment is give the Nets their respect because since Steve Nash was fired, the Nets are 13 and 7, 6th best win percentage in the NBA behind Boston, Memphis, Milwaukee, New Orleans, and Sacramento. Yeah, Sacramento respect, baby.
Boston, too.
And since November 1st, they're 10th in offensive rating, 6th in defensive rating. The Nets being a top 10 defense since when? Yeah, they are right now. They're 29th in rebounding. They still suck there, so they need to figure that out.
Good luck.
They're 6th in assists per game. The passing of this team since Steve Nash got fired. I mean, it's unlike anything I've seen in the Steve Nash tenure Nets before. They're 1st in blocks per game. They're 2nd in field goal percentage, and they're 4th in three-point percentage. This team has been amazing.
They're nice.
The best 5-man defensive lineup. Drew mentioned it.
Yep.
Kyrie Irving, oh yeah, he's playing defense right now. He's playing very good defense.
He is.
Joe Harris, Royce O'Neal, KD, Nick Claxton.
Excuse me.
They have right now 2 players in the top 10 in blocks per game. Nick Claxton, who's having a career season,
He is.
but he still struggles as a rebounder, and Kevin Durant. Now, why am I worried about the Nets still after all these positives? They still suck at rebounding. They're 29th in rebounding still, and
They need more bigs.
Kevin Durant is their main decision maker. And people are going to go and say, why is that a worry? That should be a positive. I don't think so.
It hasn't been up until this
We've
point.
had debates before whether Kevin Durant's a great playmaker. I think he's a good one. I don't think he's a great one. In their matchup versus the Celtics this season, when the Celtics beat the Nets 103-92, they doubled Kevin Durant in the fourth quarter, and he had 5 turnovers in the fourth. The first 3 quarters before that, he had 3. And the Nets had their worst offensive rating of the season. Now, Kevin Durant, he still struggles making the right reads. When you close up on him and you double team him, he gets impatient as a passer. And if he's making those decisions in the playoffs when teams are double teaming constantly, I do question the Nets because I feel like they need a playmaker. They do. Kyrie's not a true playmaker. KD's not a true playmaker. They need a true playmaker to set up the offense and to handle these situations. And how they can improve rebounding, I think, is trading for a guy like Jakob Poeltl. They also need some scoring punch because it's just KD and Kyrie and everybody else. They're great 3-point shooters. Bojan Bogdanovic, if he would go to the Nets, I think that would be an amazing move.
Detroit?
Yeah. I think you can trade Joe Harris. You would have to offload his contract. Patty Mills, Cameron Thomas, and a pick, maybe a second rounder for Bojan. Bojan, KD, and Kyrie, I love that. I do.
I ask, I guess there's multiple parts to this. The Pacers, I'm assuming, are going to have to start losing games. If you're the Nets, is Miles Turner not your primary interest?
No, because he's not a great rebounder.
But I feel like you still need another big if you're the Nets. Your primary focus should be a big. I feel what you're saying with the playmaking aspect. I am just the
playmaking should be Ben, but
it should be Ben, correct?
And half court he struggles.
But another thing, we differ slightly. I still like Kevin Durant as a playmaker. Yes, that he's not the elite cream of the crop playmaker, but he's still a great playmaker in and of himself.
He's not a true playmaker.
That's the word I'm looking for. He's not a true playmaker, but I still think he's a great enough playmaker that it'll be fine for the Nets offense. The Nets offense is not the issue. The defense, it's getting better slowly but surely. Like we've alluded to a few times, they have the best starting 5 or the best 5 defensive lineup in the NBA right now. But
the Nets?
The Nets, yes. But I still think that adding a guy like Miles Turner not only gives you shooting, but also gives you presence down low that you already are dominant in, reinforces that, and gives you an extra big that you desperately need.
Oh, can I go? Sorry, you're a big Nets guy. I don't know. You might have more.
Yeah, no, the topic quickly shifted to just praising the Nets because that's the smart thing
when
to
it comes
do.
to the Nets, man, I will say this, that the reason why I say Kevin Durant and the playmaking aspect of things is because we've seen before, whether he's been in Golden State, the Western Conference Finals versus Golden State when he blew a 3-1 lead, they closed up on him. They doubled a lot. We've seen his other worst playoff series versus the
Boston,
Celtics.
yeah.
They double-teamed the shit out of him. And I think if they face in the playoffs this time around, it's going to be different because in that series, they were just sagging off tremendously. Mm-hmm. Like, not even respecting Bruce Brown's shot a little bit, which I don't blame them. He's shooting great now, though. But
he is.
I don't think you can do the same if Joe Harris is on the court. I think at that point, KD has to be smarter at making these reads and making that decision. And to this point, he hasn't shown the consistency of it. I'm not worried about their defense as much as their offense in the Celtics matchup. I think that in order for the Nets to win that matchup, they have to be borderline perfect offensively. If the Nets are clicking offensively, then they can keep up points-wise. The effort defensively will be there, but guys have to hit their shot.
You said they can keep up with the Celtics offensively.
Best offense.
I was going to say they're the best.
If KD and Kyrie
right
are on, yeah.
They're historic. You know what Boston is doing historically right now, right?
No, I'm saying
number one ever.
I'm saying
But also Al Horford's hitting the 3 out of stupid.
No, I'm saying defensively, I think the Nets.
So Sam.
I'm more confident in the Nets defense than I am in their offense.
But I'm saying just against Boston, are you still confident?
Against Boston, like, they're going to score anyway. So what the Nets have to do is score with them. Like those games are going to come down to the wire.
Point.
He is, but the problem with that matchup is you trust Boston is the one defensive team.
Boston is the one team you should not be trying to compare the Nets to. This is a team that's winning 80% of their games. It's a team that doesn't even have Robert Williams back, who's coming back within the next week, 10 days.
That's gonna be huge.
Like I wanted to come on here. I wanted to come on here and praise the Nets because for the last month with Deuce Vaughn there, they've been more than anything. They're playing good basketball, but they play. Sorry, what's
Jock?
I don't know where I got. Oh, Deuce Vaughn's a running back.
Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
There's a running back.
Get him out your head,
Vaughn. since he's been coaching, though, it's been quiet. That's the biggest takeaway I've taken from Brooklyn. There hasn't been all of this outside noise. That's been the biggest issue with the Nets.
Right. It's been about their basketball.
Yes,
correct.
right now it's been about their basketball. They're playing well. They've been improving. KD's playing well. Kyrie, like, that's the biggest takeaway you got to have if you're a Nets fan or if you have a Nets agenda for whatever reason that might be. To my friend to the right here, that's to be your biggest takeaway, is that they're being quiet, because it's very hard to win this league when you have all of the other outside noise going on. But when you want to compare them to Boston, that's when we could probably take it a step back. They've been playing well since he became the head coach, right? 13-7. You can't take that away. The Celtics are fucking 21-5. They're winning over 80%. They're on a 66, 67 win pace right now. They're on a different level, different stratosphere than the Nets.
They are.
If they go into a playoff series right now, it's probably Boston in 5. The Nets, they're going to give them some tough games. They have, 2 great players, but Boston's still going to win that series pretty comfortably. Can the Nets win the, round 1 playoff series? They don't have to play the Bucks or the Celtics? Sure. Cleveland would be a tough one. I'd probably still side with Cleveland a little bit, but anyone else, I would probably take the Nets right now. But don't compare them to Boston right now, bro. Please do not.
Listen, Dehls.
I would take the Nets over the Cavs.
I agree with you.
It'd be a great series.
I think the Celtics Celtics are the best team in the league. There's no doubt. And I think they should be favored in every playoff series that they're in.
They will be.
Outside of Milwaukee, I think that's a toss-up. The line is probably even on that one. The Nets have some issues,
Vegas
right?
Probably Dick Riley.
I think right now,
Take it easy.
I think right now the Nets, they're playing great defensively, but the personnel is still an issue and how they're doing it. I think they're a bit small. Rebounding is going to be an issue. And somebody in the chat, in the YouTube live chat on YouTube, said, you can't trust Joe Harris in the playoffs, and I agree. And that's why I would trade him for Bojan Bogdanović.
That's what we're talking about. Like, the Celtics don't have that worry, bro. Like, we don't have to rely on.
I'm not saying you guys don't have that worry, but I didn't compare the Nets to the Celtics. I just said if they meet in a playoff series, the blueprint for the Nets' success is if they have another shot creator and they have the proper spacing to make the Celtics respect the shooters. Because ultimately, in the last playoff series, Kevin Durant was getting double teamed. They were damn near fouling him off the ball the entire series, and how they were trying to push him off his spots. I mean, they got over physical on a lot of them. They got physical. They did get foul called on them though. Yeah, on some of them. You
didn't like it? It was too physical.
I'm just saying they doubled KD tremendously because they didn't respect the shooters. But if you have shooters, now KD has a bit more freedom.
So you don't think their best lineup is still with Ben Simmons and Claxton, who are non-shooters?
They won't be on the floor.
You're trying to outshoot the best shooting team in the league.
Okay, relax, pumpkin.
No, but that's what they are.
It's facts.
Relax, pumpkin.
We have the highest shooting percentage in the NBA.
I'm not saying that the Celtics shouldn't be favored. But what I'm also...
What are you saying?
This is what I'm saying.
He's saying, it'll be a competitive 5-game series.
This is what I'm saying. No. It would be 6 at least.
Oh, my God.
The Nets are playing amazing basketball.
That's a fact.
They're doing something right now that they did not do in the Steve Nash era. This team, you know that they're cutting at a top 5 rate in the league?
They've been amazing.
They're setting off-ball screens at a top 10 rate in the league. This team, there's movement around this team. There's life around the basketball and how it's getting spread out.
Boston does all of this better. Everything you're describing, Boston does it better.
Can I just finish? I will say, Kevin Durant struggling against the Celtics in these past playoffs is an anomaly. Really? He's not going to play like that again. You know that. Okay. He's averaging 30.
Okay.
And if KD's averaging 30, 3-1? Then he can give the Nets a chance against anybody.
What did he average last playoff series?
25? 26?
26.
Listen. One, we can admit the Nets have been playing amazing basketball at the moment. We can admit they've been great on both ends.
Correct.
We can also not compare them to the best team in the league right now.
They're the 3rd best team in the East. In the playoff series right now, I'm taking them over anybody outside the Bucks and Celtics.
Whether they're the 3rd best team, it's still a significant gap.
There's still a significant gap between the top 2 teams
in the East and everybody in the league.
But when you have KD and Kyrie,
I'm tired.
We've been saying this for 3 years, bro.
Listen, I'm still saying because I believe it.
So let me ask you.
You hate the Celtics.
I don't. I just said the Celtics are the best team in the league.
So the Nets
That's common knowledge. You're not breaking news here.
Are the Nets title contenders?
No.
What? Really?
But they could beat the Celtics.
I never said they can beat them, bro.
You said
So what's the point
I said
of this
KD gives them a chance.
Wait. So
all I know is if they meet in the playoffs.
Yo, can you stand on it? If you really this time,
they're playing amazing.
Okay.
I said they're the 3rd best team in the East. Jock Vaughn just got here, right?
So KD gives them a chance, but they're a chance to what, lose? Well, I don't know what you're
Listen,
meaning
bro,
by this.
with
You said KD gave him a chance, but there's no way they win.
With KD going berserk, there's really a chance against anybody. There is. Like
But
the Celtics should no doubt be favored. And yes, you're saying we've been saying this for 3 years. Really, against Milwaukee, he had the most points in Game 7 history.
Okay,
his foot was they lost, but when you look at the context, he took them down to the
look at this
wire.
Boston team right now. This Boston team is on pace to be better than that Milwaukee team.
No,
and I
is.
still don't know if you guys are going to beat them in the playoffs.
What the?
The Bucks?
So you have to,
no, the Bucks and the Celtics. He said that.
Okay.
Regardless, if either team plays the Nets, it's not.
Both teams.
It's
very
not.
It's not a sweep or gentleman's sweep. It's a 6-game.
It could be. It could be a gentleman's sweep.
Like we're all in agreement. They're
KD
lose.
at any given moment can go off for a historic.
If you want to argue, I think they lose in 5. You think 6. Whatever. We
I think
both
it'll be a
know,
very competitive 5.
But we both know who's gonna win the series, bro.
Listen, at this point
He
in
doesn't
time,
believe it.
that's what you're sticking to. Listen,
if you want to take that step and be like, no, the Nets are gonna win, then we can have a conversation.
I already said a million times right now in the past 10 minutes that the Celtics are a better team.
It seems like a pointless argument.
No, I'm just saying that the Nets right now are playing amazing basketball.
They are, I agree.
And listen, a month ago, I would even say a couple of weeks ago, we would say the Nets don't even stand a chance. Right now, I give them a puncher's chance. I do, with how they're playing.
I still don't think they stand a chance.
We was talking about whether or not they're going to be a top 6 team in the East. Right now, they're beating the Cavs in a 7-game series. There's no wing on the Cavs that can stop KD, bro. There's no defender that can stop him.
That's a fact.
KD's going to get his regardless, though.
The
That's
Nets,
the same thing for Boston, though.
And you know what? I will say this take right here comfortably right now. The top 2 teams in the East will be Milwaukee, and they'll be Boston. I think whichever team out of Milwaukee and Boston has to face the Nets in the second round will lose in the conference finals. I'll say that. And there's a chance the Nets could even upset. But that's going to
I don't know what that
because
the Celtics just played the Bucks in the second round and went to the finals.
I'm so confused. What do you mean?
I think that the second round is going to be tough for either team. They'd much rather face a team like Cleveland than the Nets, I believe. Having to guard
Boston fits.
I mean, you have a 50-50 chance here. Like it's 2 teams in the conference finals.
But I do. I think that the tougher road is when you have to face the Nets in the second round. That's going to be a dogfight.
The Celtics just played the Bucks in the second round last year.
No, I think
it was a dogfight series.
But I think he's saying that series is going to take so much out of them.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
Boston just went 7 games with Milwaukee.
And you faced Miami,
and
then you had to go 7 against Miami, which had a limited offense.
I know it
took a lot out of it.
We had a couple historic bad games against Miami.
I think Cleveland gives Boston that's a really good matchup for them. I think it gives them a fit. I think that's a tough series regardless. But I get what he's saying.
The Nets are whoever. Like if the Bucks or Celtics beat the Nets in the second round, it's going to be okay.
What type of take is that though?
Now we're going to the next one.
It's a really.
I'm just saying
take.
that's a respect to the Nets and how great of a team they've been.
Lost in the
the Nets are going to be so good that they're going to lose in the second round, but take out so much energy the team they lose.
If you're a championship team, that doesn't matter.
Like this argument,
but you don't think there's a chance KD can?
And we'd be looking at
the Nets right now. They can upset
failed season.
There's no chance that
there is no chance right now that the Nets can upset the Celtics because they're playing better than everybody in the league. The Bucks, no.
I don't think
it would be a good series.
I don't think. I think
it'll be 6 games. I don't think they'll get swept.
I'm not ruling out the Nets. That's what I'm.
I just don't. You're just saying based off what you're saying is from November 1st to now. The Nets, in the Vaughn era, the Nets have been playing amazing. But what you're not understanding is the Celtics have been playing great basketball since day one. So you have to put that into consideration. And they don't have their center. So it's a different vibe. That's why I think the gap is very significant with the Celtics and the Nets. They've been playing historical basketball since the NBA season started. Yep. The Nets just got it playing good basketball since the Vaughn era. The Celtics are on a different level. You cannot keep saying, punch a shit. There's no chance right now. There is no chance. The Celtics are very clear above the league. Well, besides the Bucks, they're very comfortably in front of everybody.
I know that your rebuttal to what I'm about to say is playoffs, right? I saw the Nets play Boston, their first matchup of the season. Both teams healthy. Mm-hmm. It was a very good game. The Nets were leading in the fourth quarter.
I'm not even talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about
I know,
right
but I am saying they faced them recently, and the Celtics came out with that game plan in the fourth. Okay. They were kind of letting KD get going in the first 3 quarters, and it was a close game. Boston won, and
by 11.
They're worried. And in that game, my takeaway was worries that I had about the Nets about how does KD handle these doubles and stuff and that type of stuff. So I've seen the matchup this year, And I do think it's going to be an amazing series.
So then my rebuttal to that is you should hold the same respect to Cleveland because they actually beat Boston twice. And in both of those matchups, it was a playoff atmosphere, and the Cleveland won.
I do like Cleveland.
At their home, and then they went on to Boston and won. So if you feel like the Nets, whoever plays the Nets, that's be a tough series, then you should feel the same way about Cleveland if they play Boston.
It will be a tough series versus
Cleveland actually won.
I think Cleveland is a very good team. They are. Yeah. I think they're the top right now. The top 4 teams in the East are the Celtics, Bucks, Nets, and Cleveland. But what worries me about Cleveland is their wings and
lack thereof. Mm-hmm.
The spacing they're gonna have. And I think in the playoffs it might look a bit different, and that's my worry with them.
If that's the case, then I mean, you watch those 2 games. Just if we're talking about just right now, so we have to talk about the games that are playing. You watch those 2 games. Boston was outside of Rob. They played. That was a playoff game, and Cleveland went out. Yeah, Cleveland went out there, and their 2 best guys did their things against their defenders.
But I think Cleveland is going to be a tough series. There's no doubt. I think the Nets have an opportunity to upset, though. That's my thing.
You have a better chance against Cleveland than the Celtics for sure.
No. I think the Nets will quite clearly beat Cleveland. I'm talking about the Bucks and Celtics. I see clearly a chance there where they can upset.
I don't know about clearly, but I get it.
I would take the Nets over the Cavaliers as well, though.
Nets and Cavs are in the same tier, but Boston and Bucks comfortably beat both teams. Like there is no chance of an upset. Like it's probably like a plus 25,000.
I think there's absolutely no chance that the Nets beat the Celtics. The Bucks, for whatever reason, I feel like
hilarious coming from you. You're a Giannis guy.
I am.
And he's a Celtics guy too.
I can't dap you on that. I'm sorry.
I was trying to dap me. I'm not a Celtics guy.
You are indeed the Celtics guy.
I just know that they're amazing. Yeah. That's
I respect
all that
it. Like
is.
there's people at this table who don't think they're amazing.
Point them out. This is no subbing. We point.
I literally
just
said they're amazing like 2 minutes ago.
No, don't move.
Did I not say that?
You didn't have them as a top 5 starting 5, man.
I mean, listen. No, I did have them. It's starting 5. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
You didn't?
I'm just such a fool.
I think the Pelicans have a better starting 5 than the Celtics, though. You don't think that?
More talent, yes. But I think Boston's more experienced, cohesiveness.
You think the Pelicans are more talented
starting 5?
With Rob healthy?
Absolutely.
Absolutely is strong, dude.
CJ is more talented than Marcus Smart. BI is more talented than Jaylen Brown. Tatum is the one.
Who's having a better year right now?
It's debatable.
Jaylen.
Right now it's
no,
Jaylen.
The answer is
no,
Jaylen.
it's not debatable.
It's debatable.
No,
right
no,
now,
no,
It is debatable.
No, it is
Ingram's
not.
averaging 20 points a game, bro.
So what?
Jaylen's averaging almost 27.
He's a better defender. Take it easy.
He's been hurt.
He has been. That's
Brandon
why.
Ingram
That's the
is
thing.
And
is
we
a
have the
better
best player.
offensive
We have
player.
Tatum.
That's different
Brandon
than
Ingram's a better offensive
what's
player.
been going on this year.
Well, he's been hurt.
I don't think they have a more talented.
And listen, it took a while. The Nets are creeping in. They're creeping in. Philly is playing better as of late too.
Talented.
You're back in.
It's just the Jays.
I think it's talented.
I like the Nets though.
No, it's not. Outside of the Jays, who's talented in your starting 5?
You're talking just strictly offensive. Who could score?
No, who's better though?
We're talking about talent. I said the UIs are better because when you add the intangibles, the experience, yes. But if we're talking about just strictly talent,
God bless.
Outside of the Jays, who and in your starting 5 is more talented than people in the Pelicans,
like Jonas or CJ.
Jonas is more talented than Rob Williams.
Isn't he could do more offensively?
He's more talented.
He could do more offensively.
CJ is more talented than Marcus Smart.
I mean, do more offensively.
Defensive talent matters.
CJ's a better player than Marcus Smart.
Can I ask you?
He could do more offensively.
Rob Will and Jonas is a toss-up.
You can be talented at defense, correct?
To a degree. That's more effort, though, I think.
But there's talented defensive
No,
players.
I think athleticism plays a huge part. Jonas does not have the athletic ability of Rob Will.
Not even close.
That's fair. But yeah, that's fair. But I think offense you need more talent.
On the I think, listen, when it comes to talent, if you really want to hone in on a microscope and use that, I see where you're coming from, but let's be real.
But I said Boston's 5 was better.
Let's not pretend that Rob Will isn't a defensive talent. Let's not pretend that Marcus Smart isn't a defensive talent.
DPOY.
No, he's amazing. But CJ
if you just want to say offensively talented,
Al Horford, for what he is, he's talented in his own right.
Brother does not age in Boston.
Okay.
Shooting over 40% from 3.
We're talking about Al Horford. All right.
Al Horford was huge for them
I don't
last
know.
year.
He's a good basketball player. But we're talking about
good.
talent. What are we doing here?
You mentioned Jonas Valanciunas. Is Jonas Valanciunas more talented than
Al
Al
Horford? Not someone you would want on a championship team.
He is.
What are we doing here? That's talent.
Let's compare
is
it to Al
Horford
Horford.
not a valuable piece to a championship team?
See, what are you doing here? I never said he wasn't, but we're talking about talent. He shouldn't be in the conversation right now.
But Al Horford is talented.
Talented only does so much. You could be talented.
I agree.
You know what I mean,
Boston's a better 5 when you add all the important stuff. We talk about talent. Pelicans have one.
I'll be honest.
Pelicans have a
They
top
are.
five.
They
They have a really talented starting
They are.
five.
They
No,
do,
they
for
are.
sure.
Like,
For sure.
let's-
I'm not saying they're not talented.
Yeah,
They just
let's-
better than Boston.
Why are we acting like that's like a big drop off in talent?
It's just there's a difference between
It's
the
a
two.
new day in New Orleans.
It
So
is.
yes,
I mean,
think-
one starting five has what y'all told me, a generational guy. The other starting five doesn't. So where's the main? Go ahead and call Tatum a generational. I dare you to do it.
He's the MVP right now.
He's generational.
I never said he was generational.
I'm looking at this
He's the
guy.
MVP
He's
right now.
thinking about it, bro.
he's borderline.
Oh my god,
He's so damn good.
Just
Tatum
because you're
generational?
generational doesn't mean you're better.
Generational is like
Nah,
that's
generation-
It
nah,
is
nah, nah.
generational.
And who would
That's
you rather
talent.
have, Zion or Tatum?
I'm taking Zion Williamson.
Taking Zion with
Yeah.
all of his injury, his concerns, his history. You're
He's
taking
had one
Zion.
injury in the NBA.
But
Not
you
in
know what?
general,
You
though.
know with his body type. You can see.
body
So you're
type.
counting on
Facts.
That brother stick.
Yeah, you
I'm
can
counting
see it in
on
the future.
when I see both of them play. Zion is more dominant, bro.
Okay,
He
so
is-
you would rather have Zion than Tatum?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would.
Cool.
I would.
It's-
Nah, if you guys want to if you guys want to wait, fine. Don't make this decision this year, bro. You guys
I
want to
didn't
make
pick
that
nobody.
this year?
I
I
didn't
know.
pick
I don't know if I can.
I mean, I picked
would pick
Zion
Tatum.
last year.
I would pick
hold
Tatum.
up. I
I like
remember
wings.
last year, didn't we have a top 25 players under 25 draft? I got the first pick, and I picked Zion in that draft.
You
Yeah, you're
definitely
a fool.
didn't get the first pick. I think I got the first pick.
I know that I picked
Taking
Zion.
Zion over
picked-
Tatum right now is
You
ridiculous.
wait,
I
25
don't think
under.
so.
Wait,
Zion's
wait,
playing
25
at
under.
MVP level as of recently.
Wait, 25 under. You
But
picked
fucking
Zion
Tatum's
over
doing it all
Luka.
season and with defense. I know Zion has two, but
Huh?
If you had the number one pick, 25 under, you took Zion over Luka.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Not
That's-
Luka. I took Zion over Tatum though.
Ah.
I had the second pick. My bad.
There we go. That's why I was like, Luka automatically goes one in any 12.
Look, I
25
think
under.
Zion he is generational, man.
he is.
He is.
But just because Tatum isn't generational doesn't mean that Zion is the better.
Listen, we
basketball
made this a
player now.
Celtics.
Tatum
and
is
Nets
better
thing,
now.
man.
He is.
It's always turns to the
He is.
Celtics with you, man.
You're the one who brought up the Celtic. It wasn't even in the topic. It was just whatever Nets.
No, you know what I did is the reason I did that was because we were gonna talk about the Celtics.
we
but
just combined
we're-
it.
Yeah, I just combined the
Yeah,
topics.
Riv's got.
Yeah,
you know, place to
exactly.
be.
I want to shout out Jock Vaughn though because I do think
That
that
was fun.
minority coaches don't get their just due in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're constantly passed over. And his first NBA job was with the Orlando Magic, and they sucked, of course, because it was after Dwight Howard had gotten traded. They didn't have anything to rebuild around with that team. But Jock Vaughn, I mean, he was passed over by Steve Nash at first. Ime was about to pass him over, and Jock Vaughn gets the job in. It feels like he should have been the head coach the whole time. I think that Jock Vaughn deserves a lot of credit. And the Nets, I'm just telling you, man, don't sleep on the Nets, man. I know that you want to hate the Nets, but don't sleep on the Nets. They're playing some good and phenomenal basketball right now.
I'm definitely not.
And Kevin
sleeping.
Durant is a top 10-ish, 15 player of all time. So let's put some respect. He's having his best year of his
just say
career,
top
arguably.
Can I
Why
can I
does
ask you
that
this question though?
mean?
No,
He's
but
just swept.
let's
He's
let's
still
talk
a
about
top
right now
15
though.
player
What
of
number
all
is
time.
KD right now?
Right now,
I think like 12.
you can make an argument.
KD's 12, 13.
Oh wait, I thought you meant all time. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
talking
sorry.
about like NBA today.
I'll be honest.
he's
top
Right
5 this
now,
year.
right now, there's an argument for KD being
It's like an argument for like
the
8
best
guys.
player in the world. You can make a legit argument about that. You can. You can say he's been better than Giannis and Curry and stuff like that. But even if you don't, he's top 5 lock.
He's top 5.
Absolute Top 5 lock.
Top 5 for
Absolute
sure.
lock.
And I feel like people get into a lot of debates
Hold on.
whether of the order.
Hold on.
But I will say this: people get into the debates about the order, but whether you have Curry 1
As long as you have
and
the 5
KD
in.
5, they're so goddamn close that there shouldn't be an insane argument over who's 1 or 5.
It's the love of the
because
game,
it's
bro.
that
Are you about to call
close.
me out on something?
No, I'm curious because you think KD's stamp 5.
He should be.
So AD, is he in the 5? I'm asking who's in the 5.
I don't think so.
Luka.
If we're going off this season,
Yeah, we're talking about right now, this season. Is AD in the 5?
that's tough. I want to say Steph. Steph probably is going to be number 1.
Luka is in the 5.
Yes.
I want to hear his. Because I'm
If
very
Luka's,
interested.
he'd be 5.
Okay, so Luka, Steph,
Steph,
you have
Giannis,
Giannis in there.
KD.
KD, Tatum.
Yeah,
So you have no AD in your 5.
AD is 6.
Luka's not in your 5?
He's 5.
He's 5. No AD is interesting.
No
AD's
Joker?
Last week you
That's
were just telling me
extremely rude to
let's
Jokic.
play in the league. Last week you just said that.
He has been playing like it for sure.
Surprised you didn't have him in the
Man, I'm really disappointed in these comments. They're saying KD in the top 5 is crazy. He's averaging
not.
30 and
It's
playing
not.
elite defense.
Yeah, no, just
Are we serious?
Ignore it. Ignore it.
It's ridiculous.
Ignore it.
I'm baffled. Look, the top 5 for me, right now, top 5 NBA players, no order.
I'm sorry. I'm just really taken aback by this for a second. Saying that KD is better than Luka is crazy, apparently.
Where the hell did you even see that comment?
Apparently, saying Kevin Durant, the best scorer this game's ever seen, is better than Luka Doncic, who just came onto the scene. I'm sorry. I just have a hard time sitting with that. I really do.
Top 5 players right now in the NBA, no order for me. Giannis, I have Steph Curry, I have Luka, Kevin Durant is there.
You gonna say his name?
And number 5 to me is Jason Tatum or Anthony Davis, to be honest. And
I'm surprised you just didn't go AD.
I was very close.
Listen,
I might just go with Anthony Davis.
I'm happy you're doing this year. It's gonna pay off in June.
well,
Bro, we gotta stop
pay
acting
off.
like I wasn't a Tatum dude.
It'll pay off in June. I gotta stay focused.
Drew and I, the entire playoff
off.
run, we were praising Jason Tatum.
Dude,
comparing him to Kawhi
I'll
Leonard.
be honest, Joe, I don't want to hear it.
All right.
I think he did it once.
All right.
No, that's facts. I don't know why you're looking at me sideways like
I
that.
throw my top 5 in there. I guess I got Giannis, Steph, Luka, Tatum,
KD. Yeah.
That's a firm
AD
problem.
is 6.
He is undoubtedly.
He's 6. And I say that with love and admiration. And that's just a credit to what these other 5 are doing.
Zion Williamson right now is 8th in PER. So these are top players according to PER. AD is 1, Luka's 2, Jokic is 3, Embiid is 4, Giannis is 5, SGA is 6, 7 is KD, Zion is 8, 9 is Curry, 10 is Siakam, and 11 is Jason Tatum.
Somebody said,
Listen, if
Kareem a
AD...
better score than
I know,
KD.
I ignored that also. Listen, AD keeps this up, he easily throws himself into the top 3 conversation. AD continues to play at this level. He throws himself into the top 3 conversation. And the Giannis and AD conversations are open. They're open. Because if AD is going to continue to play with this aggression, this assertiveness in his game, this confidence in his game, it's never been a question, his talent. It's never been in question. It's always been a matter of whether he's going to be foot on the gas at all times. Because his body, can he withstand that? He's going to keep going. If he continues at this pace, top 3 without a doubt.
To touch on this real quick, Trae Young, Nate McMillan don't have the best relationship. There was a report that they got into a little argument. McMillan told Trae Young he's either coming off the bench or he's staying home for a game against the Nuggets on Sunday because in shoot-around, Trae Young wanted to get treatment on his shoulder first and then attend shoot-around and see if he was ready for the game, and Nate McMillan didn't want that. He wanted him to be at shoot-around and then go get treatment. So right now, what do you think about the Hawks in this report? Do you think this is a Trae Young leadership thing? Is it Nate McMillan being bad? What are your thoughts on it? You're a Hawks guy, Riv.
I am, but he looked like he really.
No, Ribs, you always go first.
That's
I'm
one
sorry.
of your 50 teams.
7.
10.
7.
I have 7.
Oh, so you took 3 teams and threw them in the
thought you
trash?
had- yeah, I would say
I didn't have 10.
What do you mean
You
didn't
had
have
like
10?
11, bro.
Remember, Utah was gone. Mitchell left.
X, okay.
That
So
means-
12.
So
no,
9.
it's not 12. No. There's 30 teams in the NBA.
Exactly, and at one point you were rooting for 1/3 of the NBA.
That was cap, bro.
No, it wasn't.
It was 7 or
cap.
8.
The Cavs,
Cavs 1,
the Hawks,
2.
the Bulls,
Bulls.
Pistons,
4.
Warriors,
The Hornets.
Clippers.
No.
No, not the Hornets.
the Pistons.
yes.
Mhm.
That's 4. OKC,
Yes.
that's 5.
Warriors.
Knicks.
The
Got them in
Warriors,
No.
that's
Cam
6.
Reddish.
I don't root for them, though. I can't do that.
The Warriors is 6.
Yes.
The Nuggets.
No.
You had a Grizzlies agenda.
I still do.
The Ja, yeah, that's 7.
It's just 7. It was cap. 10 was cap, man. 10 was cap.
You had like 13.
It
in
probably was
August.
10 like in the offseason. Then
Yes.
shit got cut.
You definitely had the Hornets though. The
No.
Magic, you don't have.
No. It used to be Utah up there.
You're starting to be respectable, man. Down to 7. Hopefully we
You
get
didn't
that
have
to
the
like
Bucks or Celtics.
4.
I hate the Bucks, and I don't like the Celtics.
We hate you too.
Yeah, bro.
What about the Blazers?
Nah, that's a you thing.
Oh, the Clippers.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay, so 8.
Yeah, see? Almost had 10 out of 10 though. Did you guys watch the Trae Young when he was talking about the situation?
The interview?
I did.
Yeah. The situation was weird. Personally, in terms of his leadership, I think the leadership stems even beyond this situation. But I do think I've seen a lot of people, like a lot of Hawks Twitter, let's trade Trae. We can get an extreme haul. We can move off this guy. He's not the
Trae
guy.
Young?
Yeah, some guys were pitching Trae Young for SGA. I'm not opposed to that. But, they want Trae off the boat. And I think with it's funny because a lot of people, if you just go on Hawks Twitter, DeJounte's the leader, John Collins is the leader. The situation was weird. I feel like Trae Young had a right to go get his shoulder treatment to see if he can play. But a lot of that, Nate McMillan is a weird coach to me. Trae Young, his leadership ability is in question. He has the talent, but his leadership ability has always been in question since being in Atlanta. Can he lead this team? I mean, they did go to the ECF, but it's still, can he lead this team? What's this? Yes, I said yeah, but I said some teams got cut.
It's 9.
I said some teams got cut.
Only 1 got cut.
We just said it was 8.
It's 9.
One team got cut.
Because you didn't mention the Pelicans that you have in that.
I don't have a Pels agenda.
Then why'd you say that?
I was trolling. Troll
I
purpose.
don't have a Pels agenda. You could have listened. This was your hour right there.
Nah.
And I should say.
I'm me.
All right.
Let's talk about the Hawks.
It's one of the craziest tweets the internet's ever seen. It's your pinned tweet.
I pinned it.
That's hard.
I have to edit
Pinned
it.
it.
That's hard.
I have to edit it. To deviate on back to the Hawks though, I don't think they should trade Trae Young. I still think this is a really talented team, really good team. I still think the Trae Young DeJounte mix does work. He is out for 2 weeks, unfortunately, so that's gonna suck. He's been playing good basketball. Them coexisting together. I just think Trae's play right now, offensively, inefficiently, turning the ball over. The defense is always gonna be bad because he's just too small. He does put the effort in, but he's not good at it, unfortunately. Steve Nash wasn't good at it either, and they still made it to the WCF, right? So shit can happen. But I just think Trae's game right now, he has to just get better. He has to just tweak a few things, get better in his offensive game, become a better. His shot diet needs to change. He needs to take better shots. He needs to become more of an efficient player. He needs to play more off ball. But I do think this situation got overblown. I still think the Hawks are a really good team, though.
This one's interesting because obviously you can't ignore Trae Young's talent. He is a great shooter, great facilitator, one of the best playmakers in the league. But yes, he is an undersized point guard who it's seeming as if has leadership issues. I am one of these people that I'm going to side with talent as opposed to leadership because there are others that can step up in that role to benefit the squad.
You saw that, right? Yeah. Bro thought he was low.
Making direct eye contact with me.
Bro thought he was doing a no-look pass.
I don't think that it necessarily has to be all on Trae Young to be the leader in the locker room. Would you like your franchise guy, the best player on your team, to be that? Absolutely. But in this situation, it's not. Still, Trae Young is still young. He's still trying to find himself. And talking about his game solely right now, this is the most inefficient we've seen him, and even still he's averaging 27 points. He will clean up his game a little bit, and this issue will not be talked about as much. The best way to silence noise is to prove it on the court. It does not matter what you do off the court so long as on the court you're playing the best that you can do. Obviously, there's a gray area in that. I'm talking solely in terms of intangibles, leaderships, locker room issues. But if you're playing great basketball, all that gets pushed to the side. So yes, I'm still in support of Trae Young. I think trading him, obviously, it should not even enter Atlanta's mind. You get SGA, it's intriguing because SGA is not a slouch by any means, of course, but it's still Trae Young. You've built what you have right now.
SGA has that dog in him.
He does, absolutely. But so
Better
does Trae
leader,
Young.
too.
Yeah, fair.
Mentality different.
Trae Young's mentality is that different than SGA's?
He needs to grow up.
All right, it's two different things, though, because there's Trae Young's not scared of any moment. Trae Young is not shying away from a shot.
SGA better.
So suddenly he's better? He's playing better this year
Agenda
for sure.
pusher.
Oh, now we're.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Agenda
all
pusher.
right, I'm with
Agenda
that.
pusher.
I can see where you're coming from.
No, I'm extremely agenda pushing.
That's fine. No, SGA is a dog. He's unbelievable at basketball.
Top 3-point guy in the league.
Oh.
Agenda pushing. Don't mind me.
All
Don't
right.
mind me.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
mind me.
But yes, I think the Hawks right now keep trusting Trae. He'll get better. His play will definitely not be this. I don't see him continuously turning the ball over at this rate. I don't see him shooting at this inefficient for the rest of the season. With DeJounte out, maybe this allows a little bit more freedom to his game, and he finds himself while he's gone. He comes back. Maybe things start to click again. But as of right now, I think you just got to ride it out with Trae Young.
Shout out AJ Griffin.
Facts.
He's
Yeah,
been
this
hooping.
is really a conversation that should have never got out, though. I mean, in reality, if this just stayed between the Hawks and the Hawks organization, we obviously wouldn't be talking about this. And in reality, it's probably not even a big deal. Could be stuff that's going behind the scenes all the time. Not something you want to see, obviously, from your star player, but not something that should ever get out to the public. And it really, when you read the article on The Athletic, I'm pretty sure Shams broke it. It seemed like a very petty type of thing to get over. Like Trae Young wanted to, have rehab and then kind of figure out later if he wanted to play. Nate McMillan said, no, I want you to basically figure out now. Like, it seems like a very petty argument to get in, especially if you're a head coach of the team and this is your best player. You would hope they have that relationship built in already where they can just trust each other, that Nate McMillan knows that if Trae Young's good to go, he's going to play because he wants to play and help his team win. And Trae Young should have that trust in his coach that if I'm not right, he should believe me and know that, I want to be out there. So this was a conversation that should have stayed. And that's what Trae Young said, that it was a private conversation that was made public. And whenever you have this drama that goes on in these teams, it's typically what happens with whoever, is reporting this. Happened with the Warriors in the leaked video, right? That really could mess up the chemistry of a team. We saw with the Warriors starting off pretty slow. You're at 500. This is a team we thought that would be a top 3 seed in the West. So for Trae Young, you want to see better leadership from his player, but I shouldn't even say that actually, because we don't really know. This doesn't show me that Trae Young's a bad leader, right? Because this is some sort of petty argument that him and his coach got in. This doesn't seem like, this was exactly Trae Young's fault. I thought reading the article, it seemed like Trae Young was in a very valid mindset. And it made sense to me that let me get my rehab now. Once I get this, then I'll see how I feel. That makes sense to me, while McMillan kind of wanted an answer sooner. And who knows, he was trying to figure out lineup schemes, whatever it might be. But it's kind of hard to put this on Trae Young's not a good leader when you actually go and read the article and say, I kind of side with Trae Young in this case.
I feel like the leadership word gets overused when talking about these players, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think that Trae Young is 24 years old, and he's still figuring himself out, not only as a player but as a person. So that's why I don't like to get into the leadership aspect of things. But Trae Young, I've kind of divided this into 2 parts, where Trae Young isn't at fault and where Trae Young is at fault. Where he isn't at fault, right now they have the 20th best offensive rating, which means they're a bottom 10 offense in the league, with Trae Young being their point guard. Since Trae has been in Atlanta, the offensive rating has been 23rd as a rookie, 26th in his second year, so the 2 years where he didn't have any talent, then 8th in offensive rating his third year, and 2nd in offensive rating the season previous to this one, which means they shouldn't be 20th in offensive rating this year. It's a crime that they are. Last season, they were 2nd in three-point percentage, 18th in attempts. This year, they're 29th in three-point percentage, 29th in attempts. John Collins is shooting 22% from 3.
They're all shooting.
Trae Young is shooting 29% from 3.
Horrible.
Right now, they do have injuries. I do think when this team is at full strength, they're a very formidable Eastern Conference team. But DeAndre Hunter is injured. John Collins is hurt. DeJounte Murray just got hurt. Nate McMillan doesn't have a real offensive identity. It's Trae Young ball, and even then, there's not much motion in this offense to get Trae Young easier looks and to make people's lives easier. And then when you look at the moves they made, in the offseason, they traded Kevin Huerter for Mo Harkless and Justin Holiday and a conditional first-round pick. You look at what Kevin Huerter's doing for Sacramento. He is amazing. And the Hawks could use exactly what Kevin Huerter offers on this team right now.
He wasn't going to run the same sets, though.
Yeah, but he would have shot 39% from 3 still.
They probably open. I think they traded him because they got A.J. Griffin, who's been really
he's
good.
Been good. Where Trae Young is at fault is he's in a bad shooting slump. He currently is dealing with a shoulder injury, so that may be affecting his shot right now. He recruited DeJounte Murray, and I know that they've had stretches where they've looked really good, but DeJounte and Trae Young isn't the most perfect fit, and it's not the most ideal fit next to Trae Young. All you're doing is staggering their minutes, and right now the Hawks are attempting a lot of mid-range shots. It's no coincidence that DeJounte is a high-volume mid-range shooter. And Trae Young, I also do think that a Trae Young-led team has a limited ceiling. I do think he's the second best player on a championship team. He's an offensive machine, but he's the worst defender in basketball. And a perfect pairing for a guy like Trae is someone like Anthony Davis, where Anthony Davis is the best player and Trae Young's the second. That's how I think a Trae Young team can win a championship.
Bring Trae to LA.
But I
welcome that with open arms.
I don't believe Trae Young could be the best player on the championship team. I think that there's too much defensive liability there. But I don't think the Hawks have done a great job at surrounding Trae Young with shooters and versatile defenders. I don't think they've done a great job at that either.
They tried in the draft, just flopped.
Yeah, Cam Reddish.
DeAndre Hunter, he's been injured and shit like that.
Onyeka is mid.
He needs to if Capella's in his way, but the potential is there. AJ Griffin has been a bright spot, so you got a wing right there. You don't think Trae Young could be like a 1A, 1B like Chris Paul with Devin Booker in a sense?
He could. He went to the ECF as the guy. I mean, you got to give him that respect.
That was a fluke run.
Oh my God.
He won nonetheless. Call it whatever you want.
It was fluke.
Come on, man.
Has KD done it in Brooklyn?
It was a fluke.
KD done it in Brooklyn?
The Philly should have won in 5.
Philly should have what?
They should have won in 5.
It's like the Nets shouldn't have got swept.
I mean, listen, I called them a fluke, and I said they'd be a first-round exit the very next year. The Hawks were a first-round exit the very next year. We had a $100 bet on it. I still haven't got my payout. It's fine. Riv, I'll let you have that. But I said there was a fluke, and they went out the next year, and they were mid.
The Nets also, the next year, you picked them, and they got swept.
You picked them, too.
Yeah, but I'm not calling the Hawks run a fluke.
WCF
run isn't a fluke. It's like, that's 3 rounds in. You can't call it a fluke.
It was a fluke. We knew a lot of stuff.
They weren't up. They weren't. Well,
you know when I say that everything has to go your way for like this team to make it that far. That was the case for the Hawks.
That may be true, but you didn't say that for Atlanta when we were talking about it. You also didn't pick them in any series. You picked the Knicks to win. They were, and the Knicks were favored. Then you picked Philly. We all picked Philly. That's Group L. And then they beat Philly. So you can't. And you never once said, "Oh, if everything goes wrong, the Hawks can make it." So you can't call it a fluke, bro. You can't.
Well, I am still going to call it a fluke. And Miami Heat exposed Trae Young in that offense and how it has no offensive system.
Nah, Trae looked like shit against Miami. He looked like shit.
Yeah. They ran into a team that actually has a competent coach and culture. And
the Bucks don't have a culture?
I respect the Bucks. I'm not, but Giannis did miss some time in that series.
So did Trae. They won the game actually without Trae.
Yeah, and then Cam Reddish had his career game. That made everybody still have hope in him as a player. Although he's mid.
He was the Knicks' best defender.
He's inconsistent as hell.
You haven't watched the game.
Emmanuel Quickley is
the best defender. You haven't watched the game. You admitted that. You can't talk about anything Knicks. You can't talk about anything Knicks. You haven't watched the game.
I watched a lot of Knicks content.
You told us.
I watched Knicks Fans TV. They update me on what I got to know.
You told us already. You haven't watched the Knicks game.
Yeah, but I listen to people who watch it.
So you listen to others' opinions.
Yes, Knicks Fans TV, CP, shout out to him. He knows what he does.
For us, we can't do that the same.
I like us to form our own opinions.
Watch the
games.
Hey,
you watch Lakers games. I watch the Warriors Bulls game. You watch the Celtics games. You be locked in
for sure.
Yeah, listen, man. Well, it was a fluke. We'll just leave it at that.
Are we gonna read these?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and before we start reading the super chats, we have 536 viewers right now in the live stream. Shout out to all you guys right now. Get us to 400 likes. We're at 311 likes right now. And also, I'm dropping the playback link in the chat.
Let's do that.
Sign up to playback this Tuesday. We're going to watch Bucks and Warriors. Don't forget to sign up and show out, man. We got to show these companies that our fan base shows out for these events. Last time I think the most we got was 30 viewers. We have 539 in here right now.
And I'll tell you
we should have these viewers in there.
The energy that the chat's brought, when I came into this room before we started recording, I was dead. Honestly, I was dead body. So the chat going crazy, the live, it boosts me up. When you guys pull up to hang out with us, that's why you guys should definitely come tune into playback and come watch a game or two with us.
Now, these super chats. I don't know if John made a note that he shared with me.
John's
shout out John.
Shout out John.
Okay,
dude,
cool.
He sent so many. Game. Would you like me to read them or?
Yes, you can read them.
All right, sweet. All right, so this one comes from Santos Lopez, Pick a Side super fan, and Pick a Side is a fan of you, Santos. We love you, man. He says, I know it's not a lot, but it's a birthday gift. Shout out. Troy called. He donated to us. He says, would love to stay for the pod, but I listened to y'all on my way to work. So happy belated to Big D.
Oh, Big D's pretty nuts. I appreciate that, bro.
Orlando Martinez. Shout out to Big O. Little love for the live. Shout out to you, Big O.
Not wrong, bro.
Sad Nil says, don't look now. The Wolves are putting it together. Joel, that's for you, man. And that's a fact. They have slowly but surely been putting it together.
Never in doubt.
D'Lo. Russell.
We did the Brandon Ingram one.
D'Angelo Russell.
Shout out to AJ Olender for the dono. That was sweet of you. No comment. Next time, why not? Leave a comment. If you're donating, why not? We can shout you out. Tyler Wallace says, next football episode, can you do NFL QB comparisons to NBA players? Like Mahomes equals Curry, Brady equals LeBron. Could be a really fun game. We'll look into it. Not a bad idea. John Vaughn asks, what's your top 10 right now? Who you have winning it? I'm assuming he means top 10 NBA teams. That's...
Well, the Celtics are one.
I'd go Celtics. I'd go Bucks. I'd go Pelicans.
I hate this guy.
I would go the Nets. I would go the Cavaliers. I would then go the Suns. I would go Nuggets. I folded. Yeah. I would go Grizzlies. Then I'd go the Suns. Then I'd go the Nuggets. You're getting 8. That's impressive in and of itself. And I think the Celtics are going to win the finals. I do think they're going to win the finals.
Next 2 of us.
John Vaughn also says, speaking of fluke, was that Suns' final run a fluke?
Ugh. It looks like it now that Chris Paul has had
that's
this
actually a good question because you called it a fluke, Riff.
I also have a extreme generational hate towards the Suns.
He does hate the Suns a lot.
So why is that a fluke, but the Hawks ECF run?
I just said I have.
He's biased. He's biased. But you also hate the Hawks.
But if you're being objective, you can say the Hawks, the Suns faced injured teams, and it wasn't the most impressive run, right?
I wouldn't call it a fluke though.
I guess.
But you know me, I can't give you an unbiased answer towards the Suns. I'll be honest with you.
I respect the honesty.
I think that now it looks worse in hindsight for sure. It does. How many more do we have?
That's it. That was it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Man, this live was dope.
Only 2.5 hours. Last episode, you guys got spoiled with almost a 4-hour show.
I told you that this one's gonna be shorter, man.
Yeah, this is the first time in a while where we say it every episode, so it's not like
we should announce a special announcement.
Justin A just violated me.
Special
First off, he violated you earlier. He said, rare W for the DeJounte doesn't move you trade. He gave you acknowledgement for saying that didn't happen.
Thanks.
But then I guess when I gave my top 8, he says rare W from Drew. Oh. Dude, come on.
That sounds so rare, W.
So rude.
So, announcement, man. The Jets.
What the hell?
What? Oh,
we're going for them this Sunday, correct?
We're not. No, I'm not dapping you.
Why not?
Because you're not a Jets fan. You said it. I did not fucking raise my blood pressure 400 points just to dap you 3 days later.
Tough.
Mr. Flip aside, baby.
Oh, bro. No.
Now I'm playing. Listen.
I told you how you could get back in.
A heartfelt apology. Yes. I'll think about it.
Listen,
Dehls. I wish the best of luck to you this Sunday. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow versus the Buffalo Bills.
Big game.
We'll see if Mike White plays as good as Mr. Zachary Wilson.
I mean, 150 yards.
You know, but I already told you, though, another stipulation for the Jets to win my heart back is Baker Mayfield, baby. Broadway Baker.
Why is that the whole... Like, why is Baker... Why is that who we were aiming for?
Hey, man. He goes to New York.
You're in?
I'm in.
On Baker?
Bro, do you hear his nickname? It's Broadway Baker.
Oh, my God.
Moran, what's better, a Zach Wilson Super Bowl MVP or James Harden Finals MVP?
Ooh.
That's super close.
Great question.
Man.
Close?
Yo.
That's actually hilarious. I thought it would be James Harden.
It's because James Harden's broken his heart so many times.
No, it's because Zach Wilson.
Players.
It's because Harden, is great, so he could do it. Zach
Wilson, there's just so much attached to this tape.
Big better players to like, bro.
I actually do have a wallpaper. I used to have a wallpaper. It's not my wallpaper anymore.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Of Zach Wilson holding up a Super Bowl trophy with the Jets.
Somebody said, how's the bet for Gabe Davis?
It's a 50-50 toss.
It is a rip.
It's going to come down to the wire. I'm going to need a 200-yard Gabe Davis performance.
You're going to need it.
In week 18.
Bro was taking his victory lap week 1. I remember that.
That's 100 cash? Oh, no, you guys broke even because of the Kyle Pitts.
Pitts is hurt. Pitts is going to miss like 7 games.
He's right. Hey. He's right.
He wasn't going to get that shit.
What about what was the other one?
The
Zach Pascal. What was it Zach?
Oh, Aiden Tate. Auden Tate.
No, the other one.
Paris Campbell.
Yeah, there
Paris
it is.
Campbell.
There it is.
Do we have that? We have to ask Big O about that because I don't have that written down.
I think we just did it without like having money on it or anything.
I think that one was just a friendly one.
Yeah. But we have
you owe me bread for the Jags and the Dolphins. I did not forget. You owe me money.
What was it again? Just better record?
Yes.
You owe me money. IRS collection show? Is this?
I know. We're coming.
God damn.
Coming and we're coming hard.
I came into the show.
Santos, $5 donation. I said I wasn't going to use Boom until my next paycheck, but you guys, when we make bets tonight, just don't tell my fiance. Shout out to Santos. Shout out to you, bro. Good luck tonight.
The Jaguars Dolphins?
He bet me that the Jaguars were going to have a better record than the Dolphins.
You serious?
He bet me
Yeah, I did. I thought it was gonna be-
$100 cash.
Sauce or Tyreek Woolen? Give me Sauce.
Hey, man.
That's
Well,
not
that's
even being
a-
biased. It's
I
just
came
facts.
into the show not owing any money.
I am
I'm
a
leaving
John
owing
Cena
like
fan.
$300,
Yeah,
man.
it's crazy how quick
What's
that
what's
shit
up
could
with this,
flip.
man? What's up?
You
The
messed with
Jaguars
Flip
were
aside,
hot
bro.
in the beginning of the season, though.
They were.
They was hot.
We
They
picked
have a
them to win the
positive
division
point.
like week 4.
They have it's a shame, bro. It's not that the Jags aren't good, though.
They
They-
definitely were hot.
They're
to start the
building.
year.
They're building.
Yeah, that take was looking very good. That's going to do it for episode 236 of the Pick a Side podcast.
Shout out to everyone.
Another
who
round
pulled
of
up, man.
applause.
Shout out
Another
everyone
round
pulled
of
up. We had
applause.
600 people in here at one point. 500
Before
the
you
whole
guys
show.
go, hit the like button on the stream and go download Boom Fantasy.
Go play,
Put $10 in.
Help us out.
Put in our bets. We got Steph Curry and Jason Tatum points, rebounds, and assists the over, and we have Jordan Poole over on the points. So put your selections in. You can bet on NFL tomorrow. Let's see if this bet hits. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on Twitter. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast and Twitter at Pick a Side Pod. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.